Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY's Anthony Gargano Show. I, of course, am not Anthony Gargano. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for this morning. Joining me today, welcome back, VG Violations Greg. Missed you a couple days this week.
So refreshed. Nothing more relaxing than hanging out for a few days at America's #1 beach town, Atlantic City. Just a gorgeous beach.
They have a beach?
No, what a relaxing nightlife.
ACVG.
Woo, sitting on the Ocean Casino's got like a park 8 stories above. It's 3 acres of a park with little cocktails, overlook the ocean and Steel Pier. What a wonderful time.
This Anthony Gargano Show, of course, brought to you by our friends at Bet Parks. Make sure you get that Bet Parks app and check out the Excite Center. We're probably going to sing a little to you about it later. Before we get into whatever the hell happened last night in that Phillies game, I'm new to morning commutes. I have mostly slept in my entire life. So when I do marks or when I do this show, it's a big change for me. I got to tell you, if you get in a car accident at rush hour, you should have to financially compensate everybody on the road. Like with GPS systems now, we could make this a possibility. Because there's no just drive your car like a normal person, don't crash it, and everything goes fine. There's already a little bit of traffic. Then you get in an accident, and now everyone's inconvenienced. This is on you. I want to be paid for my time.
Yeah. Were you slowed down because there was actual like work going on to help people, or is it just like rubbernecking, gapers?
Usually rubbernecking.
Yeah.
Today it was, by the time I got up there, the accident had been cleared.
That's so frustrating.
Because and I'm sitting back there, I see all these cops rushing up. So I'm like, okay, something actually happened.
Yes.
It's not just people driving like jerks, but by the time I get up there, there's nothing. Like, so it was just people. That drives me insane.
That's
too.
the most frustrating when you slow down and you get there and you're like, there's nothing to slow us down here. Like, I want to see some kind of like at least a fender on the road, something, some remnant of an accident. 100%. With everyone safe, obviously. I just want a fender.
Yes, clearly, but no, it just drives me insane.
Or like public shaming, like some kind of billboard with their license plate and their driver's license photo.
You should be made an example of in some way to show everyone else. This is what happens when you drive like an a-hole when everyone else is on the road.
Yeah, everyone's got somewhere to get to. You're not the only one.
No one out here just on a leisurely drive at 7 a.m. on a Wednesday. Like, this is everyone's trying to get somewhere. You'll get
That's
there.
a good point. You are a total psycho if you're taking a leisurely drive at 7 to 30 a.m.
No, that person also needs to be locked up.
Yeah, totally locked up.
100%. But speaking of car wrecks, the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah.
They lose last night in the bottom of the 9th on a walk-off inside the park home run, which is absolutely insane. Glad I stayed up to watch that. But it is just... The offense and the bullpen right now are fighting for Dave Dombrowski's attention like two neglected children, like just being as toxic as humanly possible to try to get dad to do something about their situation. Jordan Romano is left in for 5 outs last night. He, spoiler alert, doesn't get them. And instead gives up a shot that it actually would have been out in 29 to 30 parks. It's just triples alley that it bounced off of. But that just kind of adds the insult to injury there that it was an inside the parker.
Yes, because ESPN's like, oh, wait till you see the crazy ending of this one. It's like, all right, it was a walk-off home run.
It was a walk-off home run.
Anywhere it's a walk-off.
In every other park. But there, it's just we had to play it out and watch the guy round the bases.
Yeah, why the outfielder scramble, trying to catch up to the ball.
As T-Mac does like his best Harry Doyle impression, like, here we go. Like that is exactly what was going on. But
And where was Kepler? Like the ball was bouncing directly left, and Marsh is hunting it down. I was like, Kepler just hanging out in left field.
He'd already made his way into the dugout. He had somewhere to be. He wanted to avoid that rush hour traffic.
The pitchforks are out, man. They hate Topper.
Topper right now, listen, maybe this was one of those. Sometimes I think coaches do things to show management. Like This is what you gave me.
Right.
Like Jordan Romano goes out, and he's the big offseason bullpen addition. You ask him to get 5 outs in what was essentially a bullpen game because you started Taijuan Walker.
Yes.
One way or another, it was going to be a bullpen game, whether he reached his 4 innings.
Right,
or,
you got lucky.
Yeah,
he
like,
gave you
you
4
actually
solid.
got the 4 full innings out of him,
right.
and it didn't go terribly. But you bring in a guy to close out a game in which you are leading 3-1 with a 6.82 ERA to try to get 5 outs off of a wild card. This wasn't the Rockies or the White Sox.
No.
This is a pretty decent
Giants
team.
they're a decent squad.
And sometimes I look at Topper and go, that was just asinine. Was this, like, could he have been trying to prove a point? Like, this is what you gave me.
I guess, because you look at the other options, and you got Seth Johnson, who looks okay, but rookie. I mean, there's no one else there. Joe Ross, Joe Ross is not going to be good there. I guess the only thing you can question is bringing Strom in the 7th, but he had 2 righties coming up, right? 2 lefties coming up, or I forget the matchup. He had 2 lefties coming up. He wanted Strom lefty on lefty. He gets the first out, but then they pinch hit. They get rid of Dominic Smith, I feel like, was always good against the Phillies. His batting average and stats are so mediocre, just average. And then when he's against the Phillies, he's always driving in runs. But they pinch hit for him. But I guess you could have brought Seth Johnson in there, or you could have brought the kid in. Daniel? What? Who's the kid who came in? Daniel Robert.
Oh, Robert. Yeah.
I don't even know who this kid is. Right? He just popped
I
up.
was like, this is a creative player. This is a dude
Yes,
that they just. Right. This is just something.
Daniel
I
Robert.
looked at him. I was like, I've never seen this man before in my life.
Right.
But I've also seen him a million times.
Yes.
You were just random dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
And maybe bring him in the 7th with a 2-run lead. I don't know. But
and that's. I couldn't believe the Giants' approach when he was out there because I think he threw 2 strikes the whole time, and they're up there swinging. I was like, just take the pitch.
Right.
You're going to get on base, but he eventually gets out of it. But this was, like Jordan Romano for 5 outs, ridiculous. But it does leave what did you want me to do? Like, who could I have brought in this situation? They just don't have the bodies, especially when it was a bullpen game.
It's a bullpen game. And I mean, I think maybe Topper's also trying to get Dombrowski's attention. And the Alvarado just killed them.
Yeah.
They were already kind of a question mark.
They still needed a guy.
Yes.
And now it's like, our best guy isn't here anymore.
And I do think this is a Dombrowski issue. I'll take that back. I know Dombrowski's also getting killed. I think this is a Middleton issue. I think there were parameters set in this offseason. I don't understand the ins and outs of these thresholds and luxury tax things, but I know they're over one and pretty close to another one that's substantial. I think
they are right up against the, I believe, 100% tax, where it's like every dollar is 2.
Yes.
And at a certain point, it's like, what do I have to spend to be a World Series contender? And it's
a lot.
You're running this organization that doesn't have a farm system, so quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's the answer to that.
Yeah.
But
look west and see what they're spending.
as much as I don't care about Middleton's money, there is a point where this should be enough. You should be spending enough here to have a competent team, and they are still really good, but they just don't have enough high-end talent, like in the back of this bullpen or in their lineup at this point.
I think the lineup will be okay as long as Bryce can get back. Bryce is a worry right now. It feels like he's on a long rehab assignment in the majors, and he's not catching up. He's got no power. But I don't know. It just sticks in my crawl. This Middleton just drives me. He grinds my gears. And everybody loves him. And I do love his competitiveness. But you can't say I'm going to spend stupid money and give me my bleeping trophy back and then be, I know compared to 26 teams, he's not a tightwad. But compared to like 3 or 4 other teams who are at the top, he kind of is being a little bit of a tightwad.
This is a league of haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
You're one of the haves.
Yes.
So you're being judged against the Dodgers and the Yankees
Absolutely.
and the Mets, not everyone else.
And you hired Clintack, and you hired the guys who screwed up the farm system forever, so you got to pay for it.
Yeah, and when you have to buy every player, this is the situation you find yourself in.
And Estevez is having a good year. He signed for $222, $11 million a year. They got Romano at $8 million a year. We're talking $3 million.
We're talking a few $1 million.
I mean, which sounds crazy, but in that world, it's not crazy.
It's always
it's like us spending $20 or $30.
20 or 30. Like, well, for 30, I can get the better thing.
Right.
Well, then get the better thing.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it comes down to. But this does feel like when you go Walker, and we're hoping to get 4 innings out of him because he's been in the bullpen, and we kind of told him it was going to be permanent. And now he's in the rotation, and it's all right. Whatever, man. Go do your job.
Yeah,
like, fine. And he actually pitches well, but you go Walker and then bullpen, night game before a day game. Like, all right, you don't want to use too many arms, but you know you're going to have to.
Right.
Like, this whole thing just seems kind of mismanaged. The best way I can look at last night is this was a scheduled loss. It just took 9 innings to get there. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But, and they weren't going to use Kirkering, and you save him for today. Luzardo's been hit or miss. You don't know what you're going to get today, but yeah, this felt like we stink in this ballpark. We've won like 2 out of the last 19 games.
That place is just, I hate it. I really, really hate it.
I'm so sick of, what is it, McCovey Cove?
Yeah.
I'm sick of the coverage of it. I'm sick of those guys in the canoe. You're grown men in the canoes jumping around for a baseball, or just a random home run baseball. And when you get it, it doesn't say anything special. It just looks like the same baseball you get on a foul ball grounder that
It's the
ball
memory that
lady
you did
gives you.
it.
Ah, come on.
Did you see the story?
Get out of the canoes.
Was it in the game, or maybe I read it last night about Bryson Stott? Because they've been making the Phillies who've had the splashdowns, and it's Schwarber adds to it, but the Cody Ashley one just cracked me up.
So sick of hearing Cody Ashley's name.
I was like, this is over.
Yeah.
But the Bryson Stott one, there was a story that he just recovered his McCovey Cove home run, and he's like, I was a little skeptical that some guy just found a baseball and dunked it in some water.
Right.
And
Yes.
sold it to me.
Yes.
But I traded him 2 autographed balls for it. So, like, worst case scenario, I have this thing on display in my house, and it's just a random wet baseball from Modell's. That's basically what he's. But I just. It's such a cool park, and I want to go there, but I'm not going for a Phillies game one, because that's just going to make me mad. I'm going to end up on the list of people we'll get to on Reddit that just hate Philly fans.
I mean, I like the ballpark just because I like the weather in San Francisco. Like, it's a nice, summer days are nice, and it's a little chilly at night. But
I'm a track jacket guy. It's perfect weather.
Yes.
It's absolutely perfect.
Totally perfect weather.
But,
yeah, Ed Wright with that. The Cody Smashy. Like, if I never hear that again,
they
I'm super
showed
happy.
a highlight. They're like of his home run out in San Fran, and it was swing. And I'm like, he did have a sweet swing. Did he? Maybe this one was aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, maybe.
He was a 230 hitter with a slugging percentage below 400. No, he did not have a sweet swing, because you have to make contact with the ball, and it has to go far on a regular basis to have a sweet swing.
You have a sweet swing.
You want to say that about Chase Utley? Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
This guy? No, sorry. You have to hit the ball for it to be a sweet swing.
Where is he? Because they mentioned where he is now, right? Oh, he's
selling insurance, probably.
He's in Baltimore. No wonder Baltimore stinks. No offense, Cody. He was named their hitting coach in 2025.
He's their hitting coach. You show videos of him and be like, not that.
Are you kidding me?
Not that.
Yeah.
We're going to be joined in a few minutes by Tyler Zulli to talk about the Phillies and last night's game. But
I got to tell you, if I had a kid who was 14 who had promise as a baseball player, there's no way I'm paying for a hitting. I would not hire Cody Ashley as a hitting coach. And that's for a 14-year-old, let alone the Orioles. This is nuts.
That's outstanding. Freaking Cody Ashley. Like, just one of the representatives of a lost era of baseball in this city. Like, there's like 5 years where there just was no baseball. Wasn't a real thing. Didn't exist.
Yeah.
I just, last night's game, it was very frustrating, but I'm just going to, all right. They never went out there.
They don't.
And they did start Taijuan Walker, so thinking that they were going to put this away.
Let's look at the positive. Taijuan looked good.
You got something out of Taijuan Walker. It was fine.
The rest of the bullpen looked good.
Everyone else did their job. They ended the runners in scoring position drought. They got 2 hits.
Who ended that drought? Our man Otto.
Otto. It was great to see that they finally got a hit with runners in scoring position. I always do think it's a waste, though. You have a man on third, and then Schwarber comes up and hits a home run. Like, does this even really count? Does this really count against the slump finally ending? But this, both the lineup and the bullpen, just this is an elite starting pitching unit, and it just feels like it's going to go to waste.
Oh, don't say that. They're going to be fine. They need one good arm. They're out there. They need one good arm and one slightly better than average arm.
You're not worried the least bit about Bryce Harper?
I am, but I have to stick with my guns and be like, if he ain't himself, We got Otto Kemp at first base.
We got Otto Kemp.
And Otto's just
that's
coming into
great-
his own right now. You know, he's making
Great
good
plan
contact.
B.
You see him flashing that leather out in that left field last night with the diving catch.
He did have the diving catch out and left.
Hey, he does everything you ask for, this kid.
I have very few complaints. Of my list of complaints, Otto Kemp isn't on.
No,
He's giving you more than you possibly could have asked for at this point.
Yes.
But Bryce Harper needs to be this team's best player. Since coming back, he's 4 of 24 with no extra base hits, 10 strikeouts. He's slugging .418 on the season. That's the lowest mark of his career.
Oh, man.
Until he fixes and rehabs his wrist, I'm just worried that this is what he is.
Which is slightly worse than Cody Ashe from those stats, which is not great.
No, it's really not, especially for the guy who. Listen,
he's the guy.
Yeah, it's Kyle Schwarber and him. That's your offense at this point. Whatever you get out of Bohm, whatever you get out of Casty, that's extra.
Yeah.
These two are your main offensive pieces, and one of them is half of what he's supposed to be.
And the timing was weird because they were surviving without him. They bring him back, and then he's going to get 4 days off with the All-Star break. So it's weird. It's almost like he shut down again for 4 days. I almost don't know why they just didn't leave him out through the All-Star break. Maybe you give him a couple rehab games during the All-Star break. He just doesn't seem right.
No, it's when he's getting a pitch, he's just fouling it off. He's not driving it. He's hitting some balls on the ground. He put one late in the game in the air last night. It was just oh, okay, great. And it was, just a routine fly ball to right, but he didn't roll it over. So that was nice to see. Yeah. He's so far from himself right now. It's really concerning because I just don't see what this team can do without him.
Randy Rubar in the comments here brings up a good comparison. You want to talk about violent swings? Look at one of the best golfers in the world, Tiger Woods. What happened to him towards the end of his career? Because of that violent swing, he got all these back injuries and stuff like that. Could be the same thing that we're seeing with Bryce Harper. He's just too violent with the swing, and these injuries are collecting themselves, and maybe it's going to be too big of a mound for him to climb.
But Randy's arguing against you because he says typically Bryce is ice cold when he comes back from any IL stint.
But he normally has that one game where you're oh yeah, and then he's a little okay, and then he builds it back. And listen, that's very, very much on the table. I'm not doubting Bryce Harper because that's crazy. But these things are just starting to accumulate with him. Yeah. And it's starting to, it's getting a little concerning. And the muscled up guys, the guys who hit the weights, Tiger Woods was a big, hit the weights kind of guy. But you look at Mike Trout, these things just sort of accumulated. Yeah. Bryce Harper with the violent swing, he's jacked. You look at Kyle Schwarber, it's he's got a ton of power. He's a little doughy. There's fewer muscles to injure, and maybe that's better in the long term for you. That's just kind of the way I look at it sometimes. But it just feels where is this team going with what this lineup is? I think they can figure out the bullpen, but without Harper being Harper, that's my main concern.
Without Harper being Harper, they're in trouble.
Yeah, he's their offense.
Not the big captain, obviously.
Let's hit our PHLY Phillies correspondent here. We have Tyler Zulli joining us to talk about last night's game. What the hell is going on with this team? Tyler, how was staying up for a walk-off inside the Parker?
My wife was asleep. My baby was asleep. I'm trying to not go crazy. And I kind of just put my head in my hands because I'll be honest with you, this is a sport that gives you something new once a week. Yeah. I don't know if I have ever seen a walk-off inside the park home run before. I mean, and especially too, coming from a guy who I said this literally 3 days ago to a buddy. How can somebody be the best defensive player at his position and legitimately one of the worst hitters in the game? And of course, Patrick Bailey's the guy that comes back to hurt you.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous way to end the game, but I've looked at some of the positives, the rest of the bullpen outside of Romano, decent job. Walker,
they did a great job.
They got some hits with runners in scoring position, which that's new. That's fun. It's been a little while for that, but it just kind of feels like this team is fatally flawed. Do you think they can actually fix this thing and live up to expectations?
I do, but I think it's going to cost you. I think I think they're going to have to take a big swing if they want to be the team that they have aspirations to be. And Jamie and I were just talking about it on Philly. Like, what's the more pressing need? Is it the outfield position or is it the bullpen? And I think it depends on the day and the person that you ask what the answer to that question is. To me, I think they need an injection of offense in a really, really bad way. I think their bullpen can be stabilized by the acquisition of like a good pitcher and one of the starters eventually going to the bullpen. And I'm not saying that that's going to be a cure-all, but I think it's a stabilizer enough. They need an injection of offensive life, and it probably has to come from somebody who's going to be your everyday left fielder moving down the stretch and into the postseason.
Yeah, the problems with the bullpen are just really magnified on a day like yesterday because it's a bullpen game. Like, you're not going to have a bullpen game in the postseason. You're not going to have, hopefully, your bullpen coming in the fourth inning. And you are going to have another starter in there. So the issues you saw yesterday we should not see them in the playoffs.
So, like, the thing with me, my question is, if you feel super comfortable, I'm sure you guys do. I know, Bill, you just brought it up about the starting rotation. I feel just as equally confident. If any one of those three guys, specifically Sanchez, Suarez, and Wheeler, can give you 18 outs, you have to feel good enough about the top end of the bullpen getting you 9, whether it's Kerkering, it's Strahm. I was saying to Jamie, I feel pretty good with Tanner Banks over the last few months.
I agree.
I think he's been better.
Yeah.
And if you can go and get one more guy and supplement it with like a Jesus Luzardo, perhaps, I think you're in a decent enough spot, because you're right. You're not going to have a starter, hopefully not going to have a starter go 3 innings or 4 innings. And if you do, the likely scenario is you're getting beat pretty handedly anyway. Yeah. And then it's just a different conversation. So I think if you can feel comfortable, especially in a wild card and a DS, with Wheeler, with Sanchez, with Suarez, getting you 18 outs, I think the more pressing need right now is they need to find some pop, and it really likely needs to come from the right side.
People have been killing Topper the last couple days. He famously doesn't throw a fit over the strike zone the other night. And last night, he leaves Jordan Romano in to try to get 5 outs. I am going to look at this as he's actually sending a message to the front office. Like, well, this is what you gave me. Do you think it's that, or he just had no other options?
It's a little bit of everything. I don't think Topper is the vindictive type publicly. Maybe he's going to Dave
Nick Castellanos about that.
Well, maybe he's selectively vindictive.
Yeah.
I think he's probably is going about it in a way that's saying, I don't have anybody available. Like, if Orion Kerkering's not available, if I were a competitor, I would like to believe most of us would say, hey, I know we're short-staffed, give me the ball. But if Orion Kerkering truly isn't available, then you're dealing with a shortened bullpen and a bullpen game. And for the most part, like you brought up, Lazar was good. Banks was good. Strahm was good. Romano did a really nice job of getting out of danger in the 8th. That probably should have been it. If they had anybody else they trusted, it would have been it. And that kind of goes to show you, A, you're right, they're short-staffed already. And B, Rob Thompson doesn't trust Joe Ross.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why. But I mean, when we talked last week, I think we talked about Seth Johnson. I think that's the last time he pitched. Why do you think we haven't seen him in a week?
Yeah, they're cycling through guys, right? I know they've been doing the minor league thing with Seth Johnson and Daniel Robert and Michael Mercado got an appearance earlier in the season. It's an excellent question. Why Seth Johnson maybe not readily available for at least a look earlier in the day. And then if he is, like, totally. If you can backlog everybody else, where you can backlog Banks and you can backlog Strahm and even Lazar, like, I would have felt comfortable with Max Lazar in the 9th last night, as opposed to Romano for a second inning, or as opposed to Joe Ross. It's an excellent question that kind of brings back to the point we've talked about for 4 months now, is they're at least an arm short in the bullpen, and Alvarado's suspension probably makes them 2.
Yep.
Bryce Harper. How worried are you?
Somewhat. I wasn't early. Like, when he was struggling early in the year, I said, like, his expected numbers were good. He was hitting the ball hard. He was one of those, like, kind of becoming an unlucky player type of guy. Bohm was the same way, and it's why I felt comfortable that Bohm would bounce back from that really bad April. But I felt good about Harper pre-injury bouncing back, and he did. He had a really good May. The injuries, they're starting to mount a little bit. I don't think the wrist is right. I think, he's a gamer. He wants to compete. The violent swing path is a valid conversation piece. If you think about the guys with the heaviest swing paths, he's one of them. Off the top of my head, I would bet he's probably top 15 in the league in terms of like most aggressive swing paths. And I think that the injuries are mounting a little bit for him, and the wrist is probably not 100% healthy, but he knows, and the Phillies know, they need him in the lineup, even if it's just nominally to say Bryce Harper's hitting third, and it gives you something to think about. Both parties know they need Bryce Harper in the lineup.
Yeah, it's really just one of those, there's no other options. We don't have anyone else to improve this offense because it's just him and Schwarber at this point, basically. And one of those guys is not near himself. I understand it. It just doesn't feel like he's going to be right until the situation is actually fixed. And
the other guys that you're leaning on, right? Trey Turner has had an excellent season, but he's not the pop RBI driver. He's the table setter. And he's done a really nice job of that. And his role has been, as the leadoff hitter, done a really, really good job. Bohm, I think, as I mentioned, I have kind of been in the Bohm support camp recently. I think he's been better than what people want to talk about, but I also understand the frustrations. He's struggled with runners in scoring position. This team has struggled with runners in scoring position. You guys brought it up. They snapped an 0 for 25, and the guy to snap the streak was Otto Kemp. And before that, the last runner to score from scoring position was Bryson Stott on a wild pitch the night before. So, like, there are 2 runs in this series with runners in scoring position prior to the Schwarber home run were from Otto Kemp, a rookie, and a wild pitch. So, like, there's no question about it. They are struggling right now with runners in scoring position over the last month or so.
All of this to say, they're 53 and 39, tied at the top of the
still
division
good
with the New York Mets. It does sometimes feel like we're complaining that, there wasn't enough butter with my lobster, but but they're being judged on a World Series contender scale. Do you see them as one of those teams?
Do I see them as one of the World Series favorites? Not right this second, but I do think it all comes back to, can they get timely hits? And if they can, even a little bit, this starting rotation is going to keep them in any series that they go up against, right? I think that especially the top 3, give you a really good chance against just about any team in the National League and just about any team in Major League Baseball. It really comes down to, can they be a team that puts together timely hits? And over the last couple of weeks, the answer has been no more than yes, but they're also winning games, right? They won a series against the Braves. They won a series against the Padres. They won a series against the Reds. They've won 2 series this year against the Cubs. Earlier in the year, they won a series against the Dodgers. Like, they have beaten some good teams, and they are 14 games over 500, and they were 16 heading into this series. I think it's just a house of horrors is what Oracle has become. But I do think that they are still a legitimate playoff contender amongst the good teams in the National League. Yeah, but it's going to come down to, can they pick up timely hits in October when it matters?
And let's also put in perspective, if you're not paying attention to the Dodgers right now, Dodgers have lost 5 straight. They've
the longest losing streak in 5 years for them.
Yeah, they've been outscored 18-1, 6-4, 5-1, 9-1, and 3-1. So the Dodgers offense is non-existent right now. It just happens. Right now, there's just no team who's consistently good on both sides of baseball right now.
I think that's the most encouraging thing, is that team isn't out there.
Right.
Like how are we ever going to beat them? Like, I don't know. The starting pitching, that's how. There is a path, and I guess that's encouraging. Tyler, last thing for you here. As our resident State College guy, how pumped are you about Gavin McKenna?
Stoked. This is a huge move for Penn State. Guy Gadowski's doing big things, Bill. Listen, I was at Penn State when...
Who's doing big things?
Guy
Gadowski is Penn State's head coach. Penn State hockey head coach. Yeah. I was at Penn State. I was a student there when they became a Division I program. And it was like, wow, this is really neat. Like, they're getting a really cool arena, and Terry Pagula and the Pagulas dumped a lot of money into this arena, and it's super cool. And it's nice to see them have a Division I program and not play in like a dungeon of a hockey arena, which they were playing at before that. The rise to national prominence that Penn State has taken in the last probably 3 or 4 years, but like since they've become a D1 program is really kind of impressive. And the rumor is McKenna's getting about $700,000, which is insanity
like
for a college
minimum,
hockey player. But that's the rumor that's what it took to get him. But you know, in this day and age of NIL, like you kind of have to do it. This is the best prospect Penn State's pulled ever, and it's not even close.
Are they like a solid hockey team these days?
Yeah, they were in the Frozen Four last year.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I remember I used to go to their they had a yearly hockey camp up there back when they were an ACHA team, and the rumor was like, oh, as soon as we get this arena, we're going Division I. And yeah, Terry Pagula was like, here you go, here's that money.
So were they good? Like, were they a top ranked team, or did they just get lucky in the tournament?
Yeah, so they were ranked for a majority of the back end of the year, but it was funny. I was talking to Bill about it while the Frozen Four was going on. They were a decent team for like the first 2 months of the year, and then all of a sudden, this young group of kids, because it's a pretty young team still, basically said, "Hey, how about what if we didn't lose again? What if we just like never lost again?" And they went on this torrid stretch and made a pretty deep run into the Big Ten tournament, and then made a run into the Frozen Four. It was a good team that didn't have those expectations. I think their expectations now with McKenna is they're going to be a great team.
All right, Tyler, thank you for jumping on right after finishing up producing the John Mark show. Appreciate it. We will. I'll talk to you like in an hour.
Yeah, I'll be here in about an hour, so I'll see you guys. Hopefully, whatever's dripping above you guys, I hope the vents are a little bit not as much condensation today.
I like you got the facial hair. You're growing it out, man. I like you got a little Jebediah look going on today.
It's got to go, man. It's a mess. This is just lazy, and trying to cover a team until midnight is not going well.
It looks good, man.
So it'll be cleaned up by the time I get into the studio today.
I love the light stash, full beard. That is good stuff.
Oh.
All right, take it easy,
All right,
Tyler.
guys. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you in about an hour.
All right, Tyler Zulli from PHLY Phillies. Make sure you check him out right here on the YouTube page. And now, we're only 12 minutes late. Let's hit that first break. 1-800-588-2300 Today. I've been telling you for months now, Empire Today is the place for new flooring. I don't know why you'd go anywhere else. You know why? Empire Today, they have the flooring experts. That's what it comes down to. You go into a big box store, and if you can even find someone to talk to, you quickly find out they know less about this than you do. You end up doing a bunch of the work and then figuring out, oh, well, yeah, I need a contractor, and it costs you way more and way more time as well. That never happens at Empire because those flooring experts, they live and breathe flooring, and they are with you every step of the way, and they do something that no other provider will do. They will bring the showroom right to your home. That's right. So you can pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space, in your space. See how it all looks with your furniture up against your paint colors, and they'll take those precise measurements for you and have all your questions answered. So there's never any surprises with Empire Today. And with Empire, you get that clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day because nobody wants to wait around. You want your projects done. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. And PHLY listeners, listen up because you can receive a $350 discount when using promo code PHLY. You heard that right. $350 off with discount code PHLY. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/PHLY for full details. And now it's Pico time.
Anthony Gargano, PHLY, DG. My brother, you look hot.
Dude.
I mean, I feel kind of hot too, to be honest with you.
Dude, my house is like a sauna meets a steam room. It's insane. This heat's unbearable.
Well, look, this Philly heat is no joke. It's summertime, man.
Dude, if I could tell you, I stood with my head in a freezer for 10 minutes before I left the house today. Disaster.
Brother, just turn on the AC. How come you just don't turn on your air conditioner?
Trying to save some cash, man. Save the world. Save the climate. Go green. All that stuff.
Listen, I feel you. Do yourself a favor. I got your answer.
All right.
Like, do it solid. Check out Pico's energy saving rebates. All right. They've got deals on Energy Star cooling equipment that actually work and cut your bills.
So you're telling me no more freezer head?
No, not unless you want to look like a freezer head.
No. This is great news.
I'm serious. You're good, man. Trust me. Just head to pico.com/ways to save. They got tips for everything. Heating, cooling, lighting, you name it. It's Pico. We love Pico.
I'm in.
All right, welcome back. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, brought to you by our friends at Bet Parks at Parks Online Casino. Last thing from last night's Phillies game, VG, I want to talk about. Those Giants City Connect uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
I dug them so much.
I knew you were going to do it.
I love orange and purple together. Grew up a Phantoms fan.
All right.
But I just thought it was like an actual thing that, you see like the Flower Power style patch. And
look at the brim of the batting helmet. No,
it's
out on that.
I'm not against them.
Like the tie-dye sort of sound wave look.
It's like an MS Paint. Is that the program back in the day? It looks like someone designed on MS Paint.
Like in comparison to the Phillies jersey, City Connects, I've never met a single person who cares about like the city flag.
No.
Like when those awesome Eagles jerseys came out years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone was like, what the hell is this? And it had to be explained to everyone, well, these are the colors of the flag.
Yeah, well,
I don't care.
What about you, Fraser? You because you're a Union guy, their flag colors. Are you down with the teams with the flag colors?
The City Connects for the Phillies have grown on me. At first when they came out, I was like, "Ooh, these are kind of gross. I don't like them." But they've definitely grown on me.
I still think like the hats are still dope.
The hat is great,
but
that's
the jerseys just look like they belong at Woodstock 99. Like this is what you would wear to an ICP or a Limp Bizkit show. Like that is what goes on. That would be at a merch tent at Woodstock 99.
The font they used for the Philly is just I don't like it all.
Well, that font's not good either. That Giants font's like a Sharpie
but
font.
That's better. Those are better.
It's supposed to look like, I guess, the old acid test posters, I guess is what they were going for.
Yeah.
That's like something, the music scene back in the 60s, which is, that's what it was.
Oh, it doesn't look like that, does it?
I think that's what they were going for a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. That font, it looks like a childish font, I think. No? Put it back up, Fraser.
I mean, I don't think it's bad. There are a lot worse out there.
There's many, many worse than
some
these. That's
really
what I
bad
would
ones
say.
out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's still
it's
like
a bad G. Either you go with the G that comes down low, or you do it just circles around and cuts in.
The G does look very like Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
it's like
that's exactly what it looks.
You're going for like the graffiti G.
Yeah, like it's the drip off the J. Yeah.
I would say the G isn't great, but overall, I dig these. I thought they were cool.
All right, I really like their normal uniform, so maybe that's why it just bothers me. I really like.
They do have great uniforms.
Yeah, it's like a classic, nice, clean, good
color.
I
hate that team so much. They have a cool park. They have cool jerseys. I hate them so freaking much.
Yes. I mean, the city takes a beating in public discourse, but
of
I
course.
love being in San Francisco.
Oh, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a
like
big fan of the city.
Yeah.
Never been.
Lots of weirdos walking around.
Never been?
I like it.
Just in the airport.
Oh.
It's I haven't been there in a while, but we my wife and I are planning a trip there this in September because
nice.
my cousin is getting married in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And, like, you
there
can't
you go.
fly
Nice.
there. You either fly into like Sacramento, San Fran, or Reno. And we're like,
perfect.
Let's maybe go out there. Maybe take the train. Like, so we're going to be there a little bit. Looking forward to it.
Get on some bikes, ride across the Golden Gate. It's a good time out there.
All right, it is time for the big deal presented by Cherry Hill Mitsubishi. I can say it. Cherry Hill Mitsubishi.
Yeah,
the big deal.
I knew it.
And today's big deal, I just want to know, is the All-Star game really a big deal still? Like, I know we want our guys in and everything.
Are you kidding me?
Like, do people actually still care about the All-Star game?
I mean, I don't know if people do. I do. People my age do. My friend circle. It's like it's a big deal in our world.
It's not a big deal.
It is.
The MLB All-Star game is the best of the All-Star games.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to fake baseball.
Yeah.
Like, the guys are going to go out and throw.
They throw 100.
And then they're going to try to hit it. Like,
Yes.
if it's hit at them, they will try to catch it.
Yes.
It's not like you can go half speed, really.
It's a game.
Yeah, it's an actual game, and that's cool. But when I see, oh, man, Ranger Suarez and Chris Sanchez and Trey Turner, they're all snubbed. I don't care. It doesn't. And the thing is, it felt like there was absolutely no voter campaign buzz. And
Well, not here.
yeah, and that's the thing is if we had, like, if it mattered, we would vote all these guys. Obviously, you don't vote on pitchers. But like, Trey Turner would be in. That's we're the Phillies fan base. We're the best fans in baseball, we tell ourselves. why can't we get our $300 million shortstop in the All-Star game?
Yeah, because this fan base doesn't think this is a great team. They're not excited about it, where other fan bases are. Trey Turner.
I'd rather all these guys have off. Like, just take a few days off. Have the time. I'm looking to play until like November. I don't need Trey Turner out there playing more than he does. I don't need Sanchez throwing any more than he will this season. I realize it's one inning.
Yeah.
But this doesn't bother me like it would have years ago. And I just feel like the All-Star game is not a big deal anymore.
Oh man, you're killing me with this. I would love, like as a kid, we get the black and white TV. We run the extension cord. We'd sit outside. We'd watch the All-Star game.
I feel like you were not that old.
That's the truth, man. They didn't have,
wheel it out.
They had portable color TVs in like the early 80s, man. Come on, it's all black and
all the
white.
time.
Or at
You
least
gotta try to
my
get the
family
right
couldn't
angle.
afford them. But I'll guarantee you this, Randy Rubart's right. Enough with the one player from every team's got to be included. Like if your team just stinks, you stink and you don't get any players, and that should be the way it is. Trey Turner leads the National League in hits.
Yes.
He probably should be on the team. He probably should make the team.
Especially like when it counted for something.
Yeah.
Being like, well, someone on the Pirates has to make it. It's like, no, they don't. What do they care about home field advantage the World Series for?
Right.
They want to travel to the game? Like, what? They have a 0% chance of playing in this game unless they're dealt at the All-Star at the trade deadline. Like that was ridiculous. But if you want to get every fan base involved, and if I get it, because it's not a meaningful game. But when it counted for something, that was an asinine rule.
Yeah. And I think the charm back in the day was you didn't see these American League players all the time. This is the one night you'd be like, oh, we get to see Reggie Jackson.
Well, yeah, like Reggie Jackson in Oakland was just a myth because there was no ESPN.
Right.
Like, so it was, oh, yeah, I don't know. I saw him in the box score. It looks like he's pretty damn good. But now you see everyone all the time.
But you don't like the home run derby?
Oh, the home run derby's still great.
Oh, that's the best part about the whole thing.
As long as
Home run
Berman's there.
derby,
I need me some Chris Berman. But
because you lose before you would never see, like, I don't know, you'd never see Scooble versus Trey Turner back in the day. Now you see it all the time. It's a little different, but I don't know. I still like the festivity of it. I hate everything around it. I hate the 3 other days with no sports. Is that when they do the ESPYs?
The ESPYs, yeah.
Ugh, yeah, I can't stand the ESPYs. So, but I don't know. I think it's a big deal. I look forward to the All-Star game. It'll be a big deal next year when you all are trying to see it live here in town.
That
and
sort
you're
of
hitting
thing.
up idiots like me who've been paying for season tickets, and I got a couple tickets to it. You'll be like, oh, All-Star game.
That sort of thing, when it's in town, like those major events, like the outdoor hockey games are no longer major TV events. No one cares. But when they're in town, they're awesome. It's a great thing for the local market.
But if that was just one, there's multiple ones.
There is multiple.
If it was
now,
just the one, I thought it was cool, and then they got saturated.
But then they started like this past season. It was on New Year's Eve, I think.
Yeah.
Next season it'll be on like the 2nd because they don't like going up against football and being on a Sunday or whatever. Like they move it around. Just make it New Year's Day. Make it the only one. That's fine.
Yes.
But these things, like, they're great for local markets. It's going to be a ton of fun for everyone who goes. But it's not. I don't see it as like the huge TV event it was.
I mean, do you watch any? Obviously, you watch the hockey All-Star game.
I don't watch the hockey All-Star game a little bit.
So do you watch no All-Star? You're out on all All-Star
I will
games?
typically put the baseball All-Star game on.
All right.
Maybe I won't watch the whole thing, but I will, like, now with the snubs. Honestly, I see enough of these guys. I want to see everyone else's players that I don't watch every single night and grow to hate over.
Linda in the chat. I better not see Bill at the All-Star game here in 26.
Oh,
I agree, Linda.
That is a great live event. It is fun for people who go. It just doesn't feel like a big deal. Like, oh, Trey Turner didn't make it. Like, all right, who cares?
I feel like it's a big deal Sanchez didn't make it. The guy's getting paid peanuts.
That is
I know he
ridiculous.
made last year, but let's get this guy a 2-time All-Star. Like,
young guys making their first one. Like, I remember J-Roll's first one. Like, that was amazing. That was so cool. Sanchez had his first one. He should be there because he's one of the best pitchers in the world.
Yeah,
but
he'd probably get a bonus. I mean, what's he making this year? He's making like nothing.
No,
one
he's
of the
on.
craziest
He's like the
bargains.
most efficient contract in the sport, probably.
Yes.
It's cool when the young guys make it their first time, and
Yes.
I like this Legends thing. Like, yeah, we're just bringing Kershaw.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's a Sanchez spot. This Legend's a Kershaw.
But he's just an extra. Like, he's a throw-in. I don't think he takes anyone's spot.
He's
is
not
the
playing.
thing.
He's not
Like,
going.
he just gets to be there because he's
Smile
Clayton
and
Kershaw.
wave. That's what he gets
All
to
right.
do.
Yeah.
Like he's the marshal, the grand
He'll
marshal.
close the thing out when it goes 14 innings. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Sanchez is making $2 million this year. $2 million. And $3.5 next year. He'd probably get a $500,000 bonus if he makes the All-Star game.
I'll tell you though, I like him having the chip on his shoulder because the first start back, it was like, oh yeah, and he's even more dominant than you. Like, I appreciate that. And there are just so many pitchers, like only so many guys can make it. There's gonna be snubs.
Yes.
It happens every year. He belongs, Turner belongs. End of the day, I'm happy they have the day off though. Like, take a couple days off, rest yourself.
I mean, the Derby this year, our man, everyone's man, taking the country by storm. A big dumper.
Big dumper.
Hit another one last night.
Absolutely, just the best nickname,
The
perhaps ever.
Ever. Right?
Like I can't think of like the Great Bambino. Nothing compared to the Big Dumper.
Where do you come up with big dumper?
His teammates, he got a big butt.
Oh, that is what they're. Okay,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
okay, so I thought
That's
it
what
might
his
be
teammates
insinuating
call
something else, but yeah,
No.
they're going straight for it.
Yeah.
T-Mac referenced it last night, and Ruben was like, "You have been waiting to say that all day." And he's yes, I have. It is like talking 9 innings. You know what, T-Mac, watching this team every night. Yeah,
I
same
had
Big Dumper.
a conversation with a friend at a bar the other night. There's a lot of good baseball big nicknames. Big Poppy, Big Hurt, Big Dumper, Big Piece. Like, there's a lot of good nicknames in MLB baseball surrounded by it. We should do a power rankings one day.
We
Top
should.
bigs?
top bigs in Major League Baseball.
What was when they did the Players Weekend and they had the nickname jerseys like the XFL,
yes.
and Hoskins was just big guy. I think I was like, I don't know if I can just walk around in this jersey.
Big guy. Hey,
Big guy. Hey.
I don't know if I can walk around. Like, who is the target audience for this one?
Hey, big guy.
That's really good. But I am what's
I was trying to see
big fella? Big fella. That's what it was.
Hey, big fella.
Like, who was walking around in the big fella jersey?
I don't know. There's a picture of Tommy Hunter. He came out with a bigger fella jersey on.
Jersey. That's good stuff.
Biggest fella.
Yeah, that's kind of
Biggest fella. Yeah, that's Big Dumper. That is. I don't know if I can think of anything that beats that.
He's every working man's man, the Big Dumper.
I want to real quick look at Dave Dombrowski's moves over the last 12 months. John Stolness put this tweet out.
This might not be great.
It's not looking great for the things that he has accomplished over the last calendar year with Jordan Romano, whose ERA went up like half a point last night, up to 7.44. Kepler, whose OPS is below 700. Jesus Luzardo, I think, he's got a 4.44 ERA, but there was a 6-inning period where he gave up 20 runs, so it's just a little. And then you have Joe Ross. All right. Tanner Banks. All right. That's going okay.
I hated him last year. I like him this year.
Yeah.
He's turned into a reliable arm.
Austin Hayes, best known for ruining what could have been a perfect game the other day.
Yes. He got hurt. He was hurt here. He's actually playing better now.
Carlos Estevez, who is no longer here.
Right.
They need an infusion of something. And for a year now, Dombrowski's been like, nah. I don't think you're getting it.
I don't think. I mean, we know Dombrowski's history. This guy swings big. There's no real big swings there. I think he's got constraints on him with the financial side.
It does feel that way. Maybe they are okay. We're not going to start the year this way.
That's what it felt like this year.
Perhaps we will expand if it's worth it at the trade deadline.
Yes.
I'm hoping because they absolutely have to. It can't all be on. It does feel as if this is an ownership thing because. You did nothing in the offseason, and now I realize not a ton gets done before the deadline, but this team has needed a bat and needed an arm all year, and we're hoping.
This is not a guy who suddenly is like makes huge deals and then suddenly is like, oh, I'm going to buy low, with high risk guys.
Like we have nothing but 30-plus dudes on huge contracts. Like, I think I'm saving for the future.
Right.
Like, oh, well, that's a dumb plan.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the plan, it's stupid.
The Kepler and the Romano moves do not feel like traditional Dombrowski moves. It feels like he's got constraints on him.
It does absolutely feel that way. And
unless
now,
suddenly he's got to change a plan. What's he, 70? He's been doing it 40 years. He's going to change his way suddenly without any kind of pressure.
It feels like it is more an ownership thing.
Yeah,
than it is.
I gotta believe
the baseball ops people.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're gonna see. I I hope. I believe as a fan, as a season ticket holder, I think maybe the plan was, as you said, we'll
see where we are.
Take some low money, high maybe ceiling guys we can get lucky with, and if that doesn't work out, we'll do something major to the deadline.
All right, let's get the show back on schedule here, and my man VG is going to tell you about Bet Parks.
Oh. All right, let's talk about Bet Parks Sportsbook. Today, Philly baseball, third game of a 3-game series with San Francisco. We got live betting is better on the Bet Parks app, so live bet this game. We got Luzardo, the Lizard King, pitching, and we got some good game props. They got the bet combo. So let me see what the bet combo is right now. Combo is Phillies over 8 plus 190. I kind of like that today. I think there's going to be some runs today. Lizard King. Yeah, let's do that on the Bet Parks combo. And what else you got? They got this Bet Wire, which is now it's live. It was pretty new to me. It's like think TikTok, but for people that love sports betting more than dance tracks. Bet Wire is the all-new sports betting live feed with quick videos, hot takes, game predictions, and more from sports betting content creators all across the country. You scroll a little, tail a pick with a simple tap, and get fired up with a Bet Wire, the live sports betting content feed right inside the Bet Parks app. Plus, check out these new games on the Bet Parks app, Huff and Puff and more. Mega Fire Blaze. I love Dwarves and Goblins. Flintstones. They got Money Horse, Cash Eruption. New users, you can get up to $1,000 cash back. See betparks.com. And if you love to play, you play to win, you bet Parks. You must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Please don't hesitate to call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now I've got to tell you about Rothman Orthopedics. That's right, because we've all been there. We have all been there. Trying to power through summer plans with a nagging injury or stubborn pain. Maybe you're trying to inject a little juice in your lineup, even though you have a nagging wrist injury, perhaps. But whatever it is, when rest isn't cutting it, it's time to call in the experts. That's why we trust Rothman Orthopedics. Whether you're running on the beach, swinging your golf clubs, or lifting the little ones for a pool day, Rothman specialists are here to treat what's holding you back. Their top-tier care will have you moving and enjoying every minute of summer. If pain is slowing you down this season, take the first step. Head to rothmanortho.com/PHLY and schedule your appointment today. Rothman Orthopedics, your summer, your mobility, their mission. Hear that, Bryce? Not that hard. Just hit the website.
Yeah. Check them out. Give them a call.
When rest isn't cutting it, well, that's them.
Yep. Give them
let's hit the Golden Nuggets Nugs of the day, VG, because you hit me with this last night, and it was a Reddit thread of everybody saying how much they hate Philadelphia. Like, why do people hate Philly? The poster had a teacher who was from Philly, and everyone loved him. Big Birds fan.
Yeah,
but the comments weren't nearly as receptive.
Yeah. What is the guy? I had a math teacher one time. Was a huge Philly fan. All he talked about, he was in Virginia Beach, and he was the best teacher of math I ever read. And that's coming from someone who struggled in his class. So I know a lot of people from Philly who are great. Where did this notion that Eagle fans suck come from? Gorillos, the first response from years and years of examples of sporting events.
That's my favorite thing is from the years and years of examples at sporting events.
Yeah, what?
You know, at a certain point, everyone is responsible for their own safety. Yeah. And by about part 5 of Friday the 13th, if you go to Camp Crystal Lake,
yes,
you have the Harbinger, don't go down that road.
Yes.
And it's like, oh man, like 9 people were slaughtered here 8 different times. If you keep coming, this is on you. Like, we
Sooner or
don't
later,
want you here.
Jason.
Yeah, like Jason's gonna show up. You went to Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
You come to Philadelphia to cheer for your team that is not the Philadelphia team.
Yeah.
I think the stereotype can be a bit overblown sometimes. But you showed up for this reason. You wanted the show. There's no other explanation for it. And you can see your team at home whenever you want. We don't want you here. Don't come.
Sometimes they poke the bear, you know?
That's every single time. You came for the show.
Right.
You absolutely showed up for this reason. Because if you thought nothing was going to happen, well, then you just have never seen a sporting event.
Here's a comment. Go to an Eagles game and you'll know not all their fans are awful, but a disproportionate amount are compared to most fan bases. Home or away games, they've earned their reputation for being pieces of poop.
That's
pieces of poop.
You know,
well, I mean, I cleaned it up a little bit. Yeah.
Perhaps that is true. But I just I don't know. I see a lot of videos every week during the NFL seasons of fans fighting in the stands. Yeah. And typically it isn't here. You know, and listen, it's not as if we are without sin in Philadelphia. We certainly certainly have earned this reputation at times. But when the go-to story is from like 100 years ago, I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know.
Or I've been to plenty of games where I see opposing teams' fans come in, and they're the ones instigating the Eagles fans or the Phillies fans.
They want the show.
And then they go and cry about, oh, well, they were being mean to me. It's like you were there like flipping people the bird and, you know, chanting and doing all this stuff. You kind of deserved it, man. You kind of deserved it.
No, those San Fran guys, those San Fran radio guys who came in for the NFC title game a few years ago, all they did was talk about, oh, they're not that bad. We'll show them. And then all they did was cry about how they got harassed.
Yeah.
You asked for it. You wanted this to happen. This is what you came here to do. I just don't understand. Like, stop coming here. This isn't a tourist city. This isn't for you. This is for us. This event is for Philadelphia.
Totally
we are a tourist city, but just not our ballparks.
Yes. Go see Rocky.
Man,
go take the Liberty Bell.
Go take your picture next to the statue. Yeah. Go do.
By the way,
don't go to South Philly.
Go see the Betsy Ross house.
I just passed that Rocky statue like last week driving through. I'm amazed at the people who line up for that picture there.
Whenever my family, last time I had family in from California, they're like, "We've never seen it." I was like, you know, there's like a world-renowned art museum up those steps, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to go?
No, we only want the statue.
We run up the steps and that's it. Then we leave.
Yeah.
Like,
Man Bird Turtle 2, Commanders fan. Because Philly fans suck. You clearly haven't been to any sporting event with Philly fans at them. Here's one. From the thousands and thousands of stories and some with video evidence of them literally abusing and harassing people worse than any other fan base in America.
I love the thousands and thousands of examples.
Yes.
Find me these videos. If I am mistaken, I will retract this. I don't know.
Philly is a bleep hole full of trash people who deserve zero happiness. Seahawks fans, source original 2332.
See, my thing here is I love the reputation. I hope that they feel this way. Yeah, I was in 2010 went to Milwaukee for a Brewers series.
Yeah.
And we had some of their fans come up to us after a game like, "Man, I wish our fans were as badass as yours. Like, I wish we had this like diehard Brewers fans. I just wish we had that reputation. You guys are cool." And it was like, yeah, I think so too.
Roberto Bologna. Their fans really suck. I don't doubt that your teacher was a nice guy, but there are a lot of pieces of garbage in that fan base.
Listen, and sure, yeah. It's not as if there aren't, but I don't know.
Piece of garbage in every fan base. Come on, it's 10% of every fan base.
Check out how much money Eagles fans just raised at like a bar event in Sea Isle because the former center was there.
Right. These people are crazy.
It's
but
just,
I do like having that reputation.
I absolutely do love having it. I feel like sometimes we forget no one likes us. We don't care. That part. Like, we take things real personally, and I actually do care and like it. Like, I when my team wins, the best part is you being unhappy. Like,
the big flex.
Yeah, running up against actually the two Super Bowls they've won now, I've been uncomfortable because they've been up against evil empires that everyone has turned on.
Right.
And so the Eagles have kind of been the baby faces, and that ruins it a little bit for me. Like, no, I want you to
agree.
I want you to be upset. Remember snowballs at Santa Claus? We did that.
Right.
Like, you know, batteries at JD Drew. I kidnapped his parents. They're still in my basement. We're the worst people in the world. That was us, man. Like, you know, remember how we're bad.
Yeah. It's like, we're bad. We're bad men here.
Yes,
we got an edge. We're like Costanza trying to be the bad dude in one
being
sign
the bad
on us.
guys.
Yeah.
Jalen's just like this
he's like
handsome winner that no one can't appreciate.
Right.
Nick Sirianni's just this hilarious guy talking about flowers, crying during the anthem.
Yeah,
so bad.
Weird predicament to be in. We're in.
It is. No, it is funny that we still have the reputation, but now we are like, especially the Birds, like kind of becoming a national team.
Yeah,
they're one of the teams with like huge fan bases because they've been good for the better part of like 25 years.
Yeah, they'll put up maps sometimes of like the best-selling jerseys, and it's like a random state. It'll be like a Jalen Hurts
Just
jersey.
random,
and
yeah.
you're like, what?
Yeah, man. Everyone loves
What?
Jalen.
No.
How do you not?
Stop buying his jersey. He's ours.
This is ours.
You hate us.
This is for me.
You hate us.
The Kelly Greens were for us, not you.
Right.
No, absolutely not. But I do love the stereotype and the just the reputation. And if you saw, if you checked any social media platform over the last couple of days with the announcement that Waymo is going to test the self-driving taxis in Philly.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of that.
Everybody's just like, we're going to destroy these things. Like what? People who live here are like, this is going to go very poorly for you.
Yeah,
I am
curious to see how it happens, see how it goes
I'm
here.
kind of out on it. Being a bike rider in the city,
it's already dangerous
and there's
enough.
cars that have no one driving them. I'm afraid I might get hit.
Dude, I saw a thing. They are way safer than your average driver. There are so many sensors and cameras on it.
I can't trust a non.
Dude, they're so safe
person.
that you can screw them up by act like you're walking in front of them and they won't go. So you can just hold up traffic just by standing
And that probably won't
in
happen.
the crosswalk. Yeah, you just hold up traffic. They won't drive around you. They will just wait until you pass.
This is going to be a flat out disaster.
Yeah, imagine in the middle of Center City that happens. It stops.
So
and there's,
some
much
guy will just
traffic.
stand in front of it so it won't move, and then they'll just spray paint the sides
Yes.
of it.
People are gonna get out of their cars and lift it and throw it somewhere.
take the wheels off.
Yes, these things. They're going to be just stuck without tires.
Yes.
It's going to be a flat out freaking disaster. But just to wrap this up, one other way we earned our reputation as just the most ridiculous people in the world: Wing Bowl. Well, it's coming back.
That it is.
With one caveat. It's going to be in Vegas.
Right.
All right. So it's not coming back here, which I agree with. I always thought the whole idea was, well, we never get to win, let alone go to the Super Bowl. So we did this thing. And that's why it's Buffalo Wings. Because
Right.
Buffalo went 4 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Eagles won. Why wouldn't we stop it? The curse is over. We don't need this anymore. We actually celebrate the Super Bowl.
Hey, we're busy during Super
we're
Bowl
busy.
week. Yes.
But it's in Vegas now. Feels wrong that they're taking it from us, even though I'm good.
I'm out.
And
on
I
this.
love the Wing
everything that
Bowl.
goes to Vegas stinks.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Green Day, I'm a fan of. The Green Day, it's like going to Broadway. The rock bands who go to Broadway, I'm not fans of it. And it just feels like that with the going to Vegas. Or David Lee Roth, who I love from Van Halen. He's doing a residency in Vegas.
I bet that sounds
takes
great.
the edge off. Yeah, right. It's gonna be horrible. I don't know. It just seems like it'll be just so over the top for theatrical purposes now. Instead of here, it was over the top just because we're crazy.
We are who we are.
Yeah, we're crazy.
And I always said, from the ages of about 16 to 24, it was the most fun you could have.
Oh yeah.
And then it was just kind of I'm good on this.
Yeah, we all kind of grew out of it, I
Yeah.
guess. But I guess maybe there's always a generation coming up, so there's always people going to it.
There are always people
Because
that
I can remember,
age,
when Uber first came here, I drove for a bit, and that was a really busy morning. I was taking young, college kids all down the Wing Bowl. So I don't know, maybe, but I don't like it in Vegas. I don't know where else I would like it. Maybe Buffalo.
There's no way they
should just
do
be
it.
in Buffalo.
There's no way they also do it at 5 a.m. This is going to be a normal time thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's that was half the fun. You stay up all night.
Yes.
You tailgate, and then you go into the Spectrum or the Center, and then madness occurs.
Chaos. So this will probably be prime time. They'll probably stream it behind a paywall. There'll be entertainment during it.
Man.
They're gonna kill it.
Vegas stinks.
So do the guys locally who started it, Al, do they make money off this?
I saw that Odyssey is leasing the
So
leasing the
Odyssey owns it.
trademark.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
it's Wing Bowl is theirs. So I guess that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I just saw the story. It was that's
Yeah.
speaking of Philly's reputation, well earned
Yeah.
at that event, especially.
I hope Morgani gets some money from that. 'Cause-
I hope so too. He
Yeah.
put a lot of work into that.
yes.
Came up with the idea, then that was it.
Yeah.
It
But
was-
still,
Oh, absolutely. All right. I want to move on to some other funny stuff here. Philly probably gets pretty bad rap, but athletes seem to, once they play here, appreciate it for the most part. And David Murphy had a hilarious
so good.
tweet because Gershon Yabusele put out a thank you Philly letter after he was here for a year.
one bad
Yeah,
year.
one forgettable Sixers season that everyone hated. And David Murphy says, with all due respect, we really need to codify some minimum tenure requirements for athlete goodbye letters to cities.
Agree.
But yeah, I can. A player in his position, I can see, like, and then I went and got paid. I don't know, like I grew a reputation here. People like chanting my name, but it does feel like these things have become. Like, yeah, everyone does it now. It's not special because everyone has a goodbye letter or a Players Tribune article. Like, there is absolutely nothing special about it.
He follows that up with commenting. He's the first comment on his own tweet. It used to be a cool gesture, demonstrate a mutual appreciation on behalf of a beloved local legend. Now, it's a guy who played one season in Philly on a team nobody paid attention to after Thanksgiving and signed elsewhere for less than the mid-level exception.
Can I ask a question? It was his nickname, Le Bear? Because if you look at the bottom where he signs it, it says Le Bear and then his name. Did anyone ever call him that?
If he did, I am not aware of that.
Is that a made-up nickname?
That is not something that is not something that I
Can you text
internalized.
Devon?
Is that
Text
a personal
Devon and see
tag
if he's
he
ever
just
heard
put
of
in
it.
this
text the
goodbye
Sixers
letter?
guys.
Yeah, text Devon and see if
Is
he's
this a
ever
real
heard of it.
thing?
Yeah. I mean, he signed it as that.
Now I get it. No, he had played. Is that the first time he's played in the States? He had played here before.
No, he played for the Celtics.
Yeah, he had played here before. So yeah, there's no reason for him to do this.
So did he have a goodbye letter?
I'll never forget
Boston?
the indescribable energy at the Wells Fargo Center on game night. Like, what's he talking about? It's half empty.
It was half
Like, what energy? Yeah, I'll never forget it. It was half
Tickets were
empty.
$1.
Yeah, yes, right.
It was process era Sixers ticket prices again.
Yes.
But you know, like, I appreciate the athletes who do appreciate it here because of the reputation. Like, we do, especially a guy like that, you know, who's going to be. He's not the difference in winning and losing a game.
Yeah.
But you came here and played hard, and we appreciated you, and he recognized that. Like, I do like that. I think what drives me more nuts is the tribute videos to guys who were like, had a cup of coffee somewhere. It's huge in the NHL where a guy was anywhere for any amount of time. When he goes back, it's like, yeah, we put together a video.
Really?
Like, did we? Like, or just at least like a thank you, like, hey, welcome back. Like, James Van Riemsdyk got 2 from the Flyers.
2 videos?
Because he had 2 tenures here.
Oh,
So,
man.
I don't know how many times you need to do it, but does there need to be like a minimum requirement?
Yeah, let's just say going forward, we will not need a Max Kepler video or letter, Max.
No.
Like, after the season's end, we're good. Thanks for your
just
time.
go on your own way.
Just peace out. Yeah.
Just see you
We're
later.
good.
That sort of thing.
No tribute.
No. I don't need a billboard, nothing. Just go on to your next team.
Because like
Even if we win the World Series, Max, we don't need a letter if you leave.
that's maybe if it's like a championship, you take away the minimum requirement.
You think?
But
it's got to be short.
it doesn't need to be Adam Eaton.
No,
Adam Eaton doesn't need to do
It's just got to be a short, hey, thanks for the party. Never forget it.
like,
Peace, Philly.
Bryce Huff, I don't need to hear from Bryce Huff.
This guy.
We'll talk about him a little bit.
Yeah.
But I found that very funny. One, that he took the time to make the letter, and
And there's like nice graphics on it.
Yeah,
it's like it's like someone put some time into this.
Murphy's tweet is just like,
crushes it.
yeah, I don't think anybody was asking for this. In fact, I don't think anyone wants to remember this past Sixers season.
Right.
It was forgotten about as it was happening.
So good.
It's just one of those things. But I think it was Tampa Bay. I can't remember the player. Put out a game day. A guy came back who was like technically traded somewhere and then traded elsewhere before he ever actually suited up. It was just like basically a 3-team trade.
Yeah.
And they put out like hey, thanks for the memories. Like,
What?
And that was very funny up on the scoreboard. Like, that is a good use of something that has become way too overused.
Yes.
Like, that's funnier to me than like, oh yeah, he played 30 games. Like, that's just pointless. But you pointed this out to me and I was laughing my ass
I
off.
also wanted to because Anthony, one time me and Anthony and Andrew were at Celebrate's Pizza, South Philly.
Yeah.
And we met UFC
Bare
bare-fisted
knuckle
fighter,
yes.
Johnny Garbarino, who goes by the
Cannoli.
name Johnny Cannoli. And I just learned that I know someone who's in that MMA circle, and he has been working with Michkov on how to fight and other Flyers. The Flyers hired this guy and another guy to teach them how to fight.
I love it so much. Like, fighting is not a huge part of the NHL anymore, which makes sense. Also, the most talked about game of like the last, I don't know, forever. was the Four Nations first game between USA and Canada, which began with 3 fights. People were real excited about it. Like they always say, I don't know what we're going to do about this fighting if they keep it up. We're going to have to make the arenas bigger, you know? But I do, with like heavyweights kind of going away, the Flyers have one of the last ones in Nick Delorier, but he doesn't play all that much. Right. Even when he does suit up, he plays like 6 minutes a night. The players do need to be able to protect themselves out there. And Matvei Mishkov took a lot of shots last year, and to his credit, didn't back down. I wanted to see him get in one fight, though, as a rookie bad. That said, like that's not really a thing in the KHL. There's not a ton of fighting over there. There's a couple of guys who can go, but that's really it. I like that they're going to teach a lot of these young players to protect themselves.
I'm curious how it'll translate. Like, I don't know. I would think I would go to an old NHL fighter as opposed to guys who've never been on skate and done it on skates. I'm curious how that translates. And I just love the fact that it's Johnny Cannoli
that's
teaching them how.
We got his T-shirt.
Yeah,
when we were there.
I guess the translation, like more so than boxing, at least there's like, how do you grab a guy to neutralize him and things like that?
Yeah.
Like Matvei Mishkov, I don't think he's knocking anyone out anytime soon.
Yes.
But yeah, man, wrap his arms up and don't take one on the button. Like, I guess that kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not as if there is a shortage of guys with fighting experience within your own alumni.
Yeah, you would think.
Quite a few of these guys. Like I've heard Bobby Clark sometimes he shows up and he's like, I'm going to teach y'all how to take face-offs. Like still. I don't know. Riley Cote's in town. He's got a podcast. Yeah. Call him up. Like, let's get him
probably
out
still
there.
hanging around somewhere.
Exactly.
Like, you would think they would have like the ultimate training camp here.
Oh yeah.
Why don't those guys open up a school?
There should
be. Bill, you better talk
to
those guys. They should open up a fighting school here. Yes.
As much as I don't like, you can't bring back the days of the bullies. When you see the Florida Panthers have won the East 3 straight years, 2 straight cups. Maybe there's something to it, being one of the tougher teams to get through 4 rounds of the playoffs. It is going to be a fight. I like toughening these guys up a little bit. I mean, you
don't have to use the skill all the time. It's just a good skill to have if you need it.
It's good to know how to do.
Yeah, it's nice to have in the toolbox.
And as this team gets more popular, there's going to be a lot more people paying attention. And when you're out at bars, there's going to be a lot more people messing with you.
Oh, true story.
Now you know how to protect yourself there as well. Maybe it's for that more than anything else. Or we know you're going to go to Sea Isle. Don't get in any trouble.
Or if you're out in the golf course, you might have to learn how to fight as well.
And that's really...
Who is this guy? Who is this legend, Bill? Tell me about him.
Nick Taransky. He played in 245 NHL games. He racked up almost 300 penalty minutes in that time. He 5 times in the AHL over 100 PIMs. He had like over 100 in the KHL. This is just
Is that allowed in the KHL?
Yes. This is a journeyman tough guy who had a little bit of a run-in at a golf course with, I guess, just some drunk jerk.
A really tiny drunk jerk.
A guy who wanted
in a Hawaiian shirt.
Who apparently had no idea who he was messing with and had the worst luck of anyone.
This is
recorded on video.
First of all, you can't be a tough guy in a Hawaiian shirt. You shouldn't be in a Hawaiian shirt on the golf course anyway.
No. Totally out.
This is this video I saw on it was on Morning Skate. Spittin' Chicklets reposted it the other day. It is absolutely freaking hilarious. If we can play this.
Definitely.
I think we took a lot of the audio out.
We had to cut a lot of the audio out.
I think it's cleaned up.
Yes.
But if one slipped through, I'm
Viewer
sorry.
discretion advised.
Yes.
You guys need to get off the golf course. Yeah. Go now. Pack up.
Look at him.
Go now. Get in your car and go.
Oh, he's so angry.
Stop scaring anybody.
He had right before this. He said, "I'm going to throw you in the lake." And there he goes to the lake.
Hey, off to a good start, buddy.
Off to a good start.
You want?
He comes out of
it.
Swamp thing.
Give me some more of that. Bang!
And he is going
He's having his own sound effects to the punches.
I wish he's going back.
Here he goes again.
Bang!
Bang!
Bang! Come on, man. Bang!
This is incredible.
Enough!
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 This guy. This toss is off. Toss that guy 15
Get him,
feet.
No, it's not going well.
It's not okay.
Take him home or get him.
He's like the Terminator. The kid just keeps coming
Stop
back.
looking like an idiot.
Well, in the immortal words of Rick James, cocaine's a hell of a drug. Clearly, like he's going 75% tops on those punches. But the adding your own bang sound effects is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a fight.
Joe Rocket nailed it. It's like Batman. Someone needs to edit it with bang.
Yeah,
Bang.
you put in the comic book panels. Absolutely.
Yes.
Pow!
Imagine the luck. And also having the friends of like finally some like we all have the friend. It's like, yeah, but he's our a-hole. You know,
right.
But you know, every now and then it's like, yo, dude, one day you're gonna run into the wrong person.
Yes.
And that was today.
Yes.
He ran into the wrong guy.
Yes. And you have the friend, you're like, if you run your mouth, I'm not saving you this
isn't
time.
my problem now.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
And you ran into an NHL enforcer who comically, not only did you get your ass kicked and have it happen on video, he's adding his own sound. This is like this is going to be an all-time, this is a Hall of Fame video. Yeah. This is a Twitter, this is a like internet moment forever. You are immortalized.
The size difference is like my uncle was a boxer. And when I was little, like, you know, the old heads would put their hand on your head and you try to hit them and you couldn't. That's what that guy was
exactly
doing. He's holding him at bay. And he's like, bang.
That is exactly
It was the perfect like hockey fight. Like he's got the jersey and he's just holding him out here. It was like as soon as that happened, you're like, this dude is in trouble.
Yeah, this guy's got no reach.
He did like, I think he was holding back quite a bit on the punches. He did just try to toss him.
He
and
was
be like,
very calm
Get
about
out of
it.
here, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just fine. All right. Well, now it's time to teach you a lesson. I will say the first thing I thought though was this is some outstanding marketing for Happy Gilmore too.
Oh yeah,
Like, this is absolutely
100%.
this is absolutely a commercial for what is it, July 25th? I think it lands on Netflix.
Yes.
This is just straight up the Bob Barker Happy Gilmore fight.
yeah, it really is.
Just
and it also then there's a longer video. It just said they were slow playing, obviously because they're drunk.
Yes.
And like, you guys got to hurry it up. And the guy got lippy, and he's like, "I'm going to throw you in the lake. I'm going to throw you in the lake."
Which
and he
is
does throw him in the lake.
that is the bet when there is someone like, all right, man, I'm just telling you.
Yes.
I'm just telling you what's going to happen.
You're going to go take a swim.
And that dude was, he called him on it, and guess what happened? He ended up in the lake. The throws are almost funnier than the punches.
Like,
because that guy is at one point like parallel to the ground.
Oh, he's just tossing
he got
off.
frisbeed.
Yes. Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. It was like a sporting event. Just
I
tossing
cannot imagine just taking a beating like that while a dude is commentating with
No,
sound effects.
right.
That is the funniest thing.
Just keep coming. Take your loss, dude. Just stay down. It's like, all right.
Absolutely
Stay down.
down.
But like, he got so
imagine
aggro. He's
pummeled.
like, he started like making sound effects. Like
I
he was
know.
some awesome fighter.
Just imagine getting pummeled and some dude's just going bang at you.
His friends just letting it happen is probably the fun. Like,
Yes.
you know, this is not the first time this has
No
happened.
way, man.
This is not the first time they've been like, buddy.
His friend has been punched trying to save him. He's like, it's not happening.
You know what?
today.
No, I'm
You
not-
See the size of this guy.
I'm not going home
like
to my wife and
6'2".
explaining why I have a black eye again.
Dude, 6'2", 250.
Yes. Just
His
an
playing
absolute,
weight was 250. He's probably like 270 now.
yeah, just an absolute freaking monster is taking you to town
Right.
for no other reason than you deserve it. That's really probably.
I've never seen a fight with sound effects added like that.
Like,
That's
I do want to see an edit of that with the Batman comic panels. Like that
Gotta happen.
absolutely needs to happen. All right, let's pause for one more commercial break.
All right, let's talk about Parks Casino, our casino of choice. We love our music, so hey, we're excited to tell you who will be rocking the Excite Center at Parks Casino. My casino is casino of choice located in the Philly suburbs. It's so close to New Jersey, less than 2 hours from New York, less than an hour from Delaware. Anywhere can get there. It's right off 95. It's basically, it feels like it's like 3 to 4 minutes right off 95 in Ben Salem. So here we go. Saturday, September 6th, Andrew, UB40.
Red wine.
Yeah. Saturday, September 20th, Australian Pink Floyd.
So So you think you can tell heaven from hell?
Friday, September 26th at the Excite Center, The Revivalist.
Wish I knew you when I was young. Could have got so high.
Oh, we got Saturday, October 4th, Classic Rockers, Kansas.
Carry on my wayward son.
Friday, October 10th, your favorite, The Psychedelic Furs with Gary Newman.
Yeah.
Ah, come on, man. Come on, Pretty in Pink. Pretty in Pink. Friday, October 24th, Everclear.
We can live beside the ocean.
Yeah.
Leave the fire behind.
And Saturday, October 25th, Almost Queen, a tribute to Queen.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Saturday, November 15th, Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers. That is the Bill Murray doing a little blues. Tickets at parkscasino.com. You must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now I got to tell you about our friends at Ace Hardware, because at Ace Hardware Home Services, whenever they get ready for the next job, they remember what to bring. Ace brings experience. They're local plumbers and techs that handle everything from repairs and seasonal maintenance to installations and upgrades. Ace brings understanding. They listen to your goals, and the job isn't completed until you're satisfied. And Ace brings helpful. They bring helpful to your home so you can spend more of your time on the projects that really matter to you. You can get free estimates on equipment installation and replacement with trusted advisors and options that are best suited for your home and budget. And it's service you can trust, and satisfaction is guaranteed. At Ace Hardware Home Services, well, they're local. That's right. Their teams live and serve in your community, and they're dedicated to keeping their neighbors comfortable in their own homes. So visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project today. All right, I just yesterday we had Devon on to talk about VJ Edgecombe and Summer League and everything. And all right, thumb bruise. Plays a great first game in the Utah Summer League. Edgecombe does. They hold him out of yesterday or of 2 days ago, and it's, well, they don't want him in a back-to-back. Why push him? I bet you it's fine. Well, now he's missed 2 straight games, and this is the Sixers pessimist in me. We're going to find out he needs the thumb amputated.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like.
That's absolutely what's going to happen.
That's what it feels like.
It's just, I know this is no big deal. It's a bruise. I also just, maybe it's because this is what happens in hockey. I don't know, man. If it's a bruise, play through it. This is why you're not a tough team, because anytime anyone's hurt, it's just, well, yeah, you sit forever.
I do a quick search. A mild contusion takes 1 to 2 weeks to heal, man.
A mild contusion takes 1 to 2 weeks.
On your
to
fingertip?
heal.
Is it on the fingertip of his shooting hand? That's
like
painful.
Painful. I'm sure it is. I'm absolutely certain it is painful, VG. And it doesn't matter. It's Summer League. Who cares?
Right.
But how come there's never anyone that's just healthy? This team just never has anyone.
Because they're cursed.
How is it possible that this team just takes a guy, he looks great, and it's, something's holding him out?
When did he do it? Because he looked good the whole game.
He looked good the whole game.
Yeah, so when did it happen?
He banged his hand on the locker room door, like just walking in.
Get into his car, he hit the door.
Closed his hand in the door.
Do they play tonight?
They played last night.
No,
they won.
Does Vegas start tonight or tomorrow?
I believe it starts tomorrow.
I think our guys get there tomorrow, but I'm not positive of when it actually starts. But either way, it's Summer League. Who cares? It's just another, really? How are we?
That's the way it goes, Bill.
How is it the Sixers are constant? Aren't they due for some good luck?
They've offended someone.
Maybe that's the most optimistic you could be about the Sixers is something has to go right eventually.
No, doesn't feel like it. And people said it was a name change of the arena.
Yes, that was me and Charlie's theory.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think maybe with the Flyers, there's something this Sixers team has done. I don't know if Josh Harris has done something at some point. I don't know. This team needs some kind of saging.
Revival.
Is this Josh Harris's, this is what he gets for owning rival teams?
I mean, it kind of feels like it,
I think so.
Why can't that happen to the rival teams? Why has it got to happen to the Sixers?
It does seem to be happening to the Devils quite a bit.
Does it?
They are just, a couple of years ago, they're sunk by injuries in goaltending. Jack Hughes got hurt again this past season. They had a bunch of injuries on the blue line. they do seem to kind of be having this similar issues.
Yes.
But it would be cool if it happened to the commies too.
Well,
Yeah,
I was going
that'd
to
be
say,
great.
if that's the case and it applies to them, woo!
That would be nice.
I'll sacrifice the Sixers for that.
No, dude. I want some basketball that means something here, man. I'm not worried
Look at
about
the WNBA
I'm not
in
worried
3
about the
years.
Commanders being healthy because the Eagles are the best team in football. They can be as healthy as they want. They're not going to be as good as the Eagles. I don't want that. I just want the Sixers to be fun, competitive.
It would be nice for the teams that stand alone from at least February through the summer to be not the worst thing in the city.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool to have
To
that
feel-
time
to feel
period.
good about it.
Yeah, just, oh, well, we're talking about spring training baseball. Well, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's
I don't care to talk about that. What if we were talking about playoff pushes? Wouldn't that be
that
something?
would be amazing. A playoff push where you really believed you had a chance too.
Yeah, that would be a ton of fun.
Not like a playoff. All right, we're in the playoffs. We're probably going to go out in the first round.
Both of the winner teams, it does. Can't we just get it together a little bit here?
Oh, this injury's got to be. He's got to play the next game. I'm a gambling man. He's got to play the next
If he
game.
doesn't play the next game, are we concerned that this is going to be something?
I mean, again, like
No,
I'm joking.
I'm not concerned.
I'm joking about oh yeah, and then by August we're gonna find out he's got no thumb. I'm joking, but it just feels like, am I? would anyone
Exactly.
Would anyone be totally shocked? It's
No.
like, that is surprising, somewhat, but it also just that tracks.
Because we've seen this narrative so many times
It's-
already.
They drafted a guy. We talked about this last time. VG and I were together. Like, they drafted a guy for his shooting, and then he forgot how to shoot. It was just like, I can't anymore.
Yeah.
But that's why
That's how it goes
we
here, man.
We traded up for you for that. Yeah, it's not something I'm capable of doing anymore. What? How? It just feels like things only go wrong for the
they
Sixers.
play tomorrow. He will play tomorrow.
He will play tomorrow.
I'm
has it
predicting
down.
he will play tomorrow. Yeah, he has to play.
If
tomorrow.
not, they have Judah Mintz.
Hey, he's not bad. He's
He's
a
been
cute
playing
guy.
well last 2 games.
Yeah,
over
he's a
20
cute
points
guy.
both
He's got
games.
some skill. He's no savior. He's no all-star, but he's all right. I was like yesterday, you got to update me on. There's a lot going on in the Flyers world that
There is.
I need, like Cam York signs.
He did.
We got the CBA stuff, which I need help walking through.
The CBA is it's interesting because I don't really know where the players made out other than the cap's going to go up. So keep your mouths shut because things are going well. It kind of feels like what the CBA is.
Okay.
But yeah, starting with Cam York, we talked about this. It broke like half an hour. It was funny. Vince has been killing us to do emergency shows because every bit of news the Flyers have dropped has come within a half an hour of going live or in the middle of our show. So we just haven't had to do any emergency pods.
Yes.
And the one day they do something, it was like 8:30 on Monday, they dropped the Cam York news. And I was like, well, I'm here. I'm doing Anthony's show, so we're
Was it 8:30 in the
I'm
morning? when
unavailable. It was
dropped?
8:30
Yeah.
a.m.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It was like job first thing Monday morning. I was like, well, I'm doing Anthony's show, so I'm unavailable. So the one bit of news that actually did happen. But so we talked about it some that day. But I am not the biggest Cam York fan. I think he's got a high ceiling because, especially now, they've brought in a couple of his buddies, Trevor Zegras, Jamie
High school
Drysdale.
friends, right?
Yeah. They grew up together. They went to the U.S. national program together. Jamie Drysdale, he knows. They're friends. I think he's got a little bit more. And they got rid of Rick Tocchet, they got rid of John Tortorella, who just didn't like Cam York. Just didn't really like him.
Right.
Never been the biggest fan, though. That said, this contract, hard to complain about it. 5 years, you have him signed through his prime. He's 29 when it expires. And at $5 million for a guy who last year averaged over 20 minutes. I think he was at like 22 minutes the year before. Defensemen get paid for minutes. He didn't really get what you expect. It's a little bit different situation because Provorov is an unrestricted free agent, but he's got like $9.5 million. And his thing is he plays big minutes.
Year?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Cam York sitting there at 5, a little over 5.1. It's a really good deal with the possibility of being an absolute steal if he takes another step.
Now, Tortorella's not always a big fan of his.
Yeah.
So did that have an impact on his stats?
I think so. He didn't get a ton of time on the power play. Now, I don't know. The power play never scores, so I don't know how much that would really improve your stats. But even a few points to get you from 17 to 25 It's a big difference when you just look at it. He didn't get a ton of that time. He spent time on the PK. Like, oh, he played over 20, 22 minutes and no power play time? Odd. That's where guys go to pad their stats. So I do think that had a part of it, and just kind of the way the Flyers played offense the last couple of years, being a rush-based team. There weren't many opportunities for defensemen to pick up points like at 5-on-5, because it's just, yeah, we broke out and then we scored. It was a one-and-done offense. They didn't really establish a forecheck ever, so there was not a ton of getting the puck back to the point and then having him distribute or take a shot. So all of it kind of combined to, I think, suppress his offense. He also just hasn't shown a ton of it, which is weird because that was his thing when they drafted him.
It feels like he's been here forever. Like,
it does.
I was like, wow, he's only 24.
Yes.
It feels like he's been here like a decade.
This stuff that happened in the year or two prior to COVID, I feel like it's all feels like yesterday and also a decade ago. Like all of it kind of combined, and he's part of that group. I will say, I think I have more confidence in Cam York because, like, Zach Berman brought this up the other day. Danny Briere has gotten rid of a ton of not his guys. Cam York, he extended willfully. Like, he even tried to trade Travis Sanheim. It didn't work out because Torrey Krug in St. Louis was like, no, I'm not going there. But he actually made a point of extending a player that he didn't draft or really didn't have a ton to do with from previous regime. If I'm going to have confidence in Danny, I have to have confidence that Cam York is going to improve with a new coaching staff.
Let me ask you, Cam York on a contender like the Panthers, is he a third-line defenseman? Is he a second line?
Their defense, because it's so good, he's probably on their third pair. I'd say he's an above-average second-pair defenseman for most teams.
Okay,
but yeah, on Florida, a team like that, yeah, they have so many good players.
Yes.
They might put him at fourth line forward just to find him a place.
But he would play.
He would play. Yeah, I do think
he wouldn't
Cam
be the
York,
seventh defenseman.
He is a good player. Like, I just think defensemen either need to score or be physical. And if you do neither, you're just not really my cup of tea.
So he doesn't do neither of those well.
No, but he is good defensively. He gets his stick in lanes. Play tends to go in the other direction. He tends to get the team on offense when he's out there. I just don't see, haven't seen a ton of upside from him. But new coaching staff, he thinks his best hockey's ahead of him. I'm willing to see this out. And regardless, it's a good contract.
Does he seem like he's a good guy in the clubhouse? People like him in the locker room?
He seems very popular.
Okay.
I think what Tortorella didn't like about him is he's just kind of California cool guy.
All right.
And
I like that.
He wants fired up players. And I could just see Cam York okay.
Yeah.
So you're yelling at me about what exactly?
Yeah,
just kind of rolling his eyes at him. And it was a blow up with Cam York that ultimately got Tortorella fired. So
that's the one where he's going to ruin him or something?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I'll bury you and you'll never get paid.
Right.
And bad coaches tend to hold that over players. And it's not something it's always been said about Torts. Like, yes, he can be mean. He can be a jerk, but he cares about his players in that, I am a teacher, and if you hate me for it, so be it kind of way. And it seems with Cam York, he went further than that. He was just like, I personally hate you.
Right. It could be, though. He's also kind of could be, I'm a bad teacher.
Yeah.
And if you hate me for it, I'll bury you. I mean, guy's got to find a new shtick, but I'm glad he's out here. But good. All right. So it seems like a good deal.
It is. It's a good deal. It's even if you're not a huge fan of York like me, it's still if you just look at what defensemen signed for.
Okay.
5.1, sure. For what should be the best hockey of his career, age 24 to 29. Yeah, sign me up for this. And it seems pretty good. The CBA is, I'm just happy it's done. Because now my career is hockey. I kind of need it. During the COVID stoppage and everything, Charlie and I figured out oh yeah, we're gonna talk about movies and music, but I don't care to do that again for months at a time. So it's done. This is a peacetime CBA. Gary Bettman, the first of his tenure as commissioner, where there was no lockout or stoppage or any sort of labor unrest or global pandemic that had forced the stoppage. He actually gets one done. And there's some interesting stuff in there. The very first one, VG, 84 game regular season is coming.
Yeah, I was like, was it 82, right? But then
Yes.
I was like, oh, it's always been 82.
They did play an 84, I think, to make up for some revenue after the 94-95 lockout, because that was like a half season. And I think the following year they played 84, something like that. But it's been 82 for the most part since expansion. And now they're going to 84. And I get it. More gate revenue, caps going up, one extra game for every team at home.
Is there any rhyme or reason of what those 2 extra games are? Are they division games?
I think they want to even out the number of division games, because you play your division opponents, I think it's 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And I think they want to even that out now.
Makes sense.
So it's just everyone gets the same number of home and away. But, I don't know a single person who's like, oh, you know what I need more of? Regular season hockey.
True.
We have conditioned everyone to go, yeah, who cares? It's all about the playoffs. Nothing matters but the Stanley Cup. You win the MVP and then go out in the first or second round. It's like, take the trophy away from him.
Yeah.
He's not an MVP of anything.
Yes.
And now we're adding games to that. I want to see some sort of playoff expansion.
You do?
Yes.
Like, is team-wise? You want more teams?
Yeah. They're at 32 teams now. Half the teams get in. They're going to be at 30. They're going to get to 40 within the next 10 years. I'm certain of it.
Really?
They're going to keep expanding.
What markets do you see them expanding to?
It looks like they're going back to Atlanta. I think they're going to try to hit Houston. They want to go back to Arizona and try to make that work with an owner who knows what he's doing. Eventually, I think they'll add a Canadian team. I think they're going to get to 36, if not 40, within the next 10 years. There's a whole bunch of rumors about the different expansion sites and things.
But
more teams need to get in the playoffs.
Right now, you would want more teams. The playoffs feel like they go on forever.
I just think, yes, add a play-in round or something like that, a best of 3, something that just has a little bit more,
all right,
adds a little bit more drama to the end of the season, where teams are either going half speed because they know they're in, or playing out the string because it's over.
You like the NBA play-in, Matt?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah?
I think would be cool.
I hate that.
I just I don't see a difference between 8th and 10th. That's the
okay.
Give more teams a shot to get in, and give more teams a reason to play through, and not just use the end of the season as this doesn't matter.
And they're doing 2 less preseason games?
2 fewer preseason games, which is also great.
How many did they normally do?
It was 6,
okay.
And now it's down to 4. And if you have 100 or more games played in the NHL, you can only play 1 or 2.
Okay, so
veterans get a little bit of rest because you're going to be playing more regular season games. I just think
I'll be honest, I don't watch any preseason hockey. Are the games
I typically don't.
Are they games competitive?
Because of how many guys are in camp, it's usually the home team dresses a lot of their starters, and the away team, it's like, we're sending the backups. We're sending the AHL guys. So they're not all that competitive for the most part.
Yep.
But they do fun stuff, like the Flyers and Caps this season are going to play a game at Hershey.
Yeah.
They're going up to the Giant Center.
TV Todd's super excited about that. It's in his backyard.
I'm looking forward to it. It's actually on my birthday. They usually play, and so I'm going up for that.
All right.
That'll be cool because I grew up an AHL fan. Like, I had Phantom season tickets. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, the NHL preseason is just like, let's try to get our skating legs under us a little bit more so than it's a game.
Right. All right.
Young guys tend to fight in them though, so that's always fun. Like you'll just have young guys trying to impress the coach, so they're taking shots. But yeah, so you have the 84 games. I think they are taking away one of those great fun things about the NHL, the emergency backup goalie.
Yes.
Where it's well, there's just one guy at the arena who has pads, and if both of your goalies are hurt, he's your goalie tonight.
For a while, it was the Eric Simborski guy, right?
Yeah.
From Temple.
He got in. He got on. They actually signed him to an amateur tryout so he could be the backup for Chicago one game, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
But there was the famous game. I think it was Carolina. Didn't have a goaltender, and they dressed the Maple Leafs Zamboni driver against the Maple Leafs because the game was in Toronto. And he beat them.
What?
He beat them. And now each team is going to have a permanent emergency backup goalie that travels with the team, practices with you. So there were just all these rules like, if you have no goalie, he can play, but he can't even dress. unless someone's hurt. So then maybe they'd sign them to like an amateur thing. Like Szymborski actually got to sit on the bench. Otherwise, he'd just like have to be in the locker room half dressed, waiting for Corey Crawford to get hurt and then come in. But like that sort of stuff would happen all the time. But now it's just, it's going to be some guy.
So when Szymborski was the third goalie, was he always in the building just in case?
Yeah. That was his, like, that's the thing. It's you're there. It's usually someone who's around.
Yeah.
Like has pads will travel.
That's
like
fascinating.
and they're taking that away. It's going to be more of a permanent position now.
Do we like that?
I just thought
I like the emergency
it's
goalie.
Probably amateurish.
Yes, it's totally.
But it's a lot of fun. Like,
when it happens, it's a great story.
Yeah, it's really cool. Just one of those stupid,
but it is amateur.
Whimsical things about sports that you love. You know, like how can you not be romantic about baseball? Like that's, man. The Zamboni driver just beat the Leafs in the arena where he cuts the ice for a living. Like that's great stuff. To take that away is a little
Yeah, it does feel amateurish and bush league-ish. But I don't know. I kind of like it. It's part of the charm.
New players are going to be required to wear neck guards.
Okay.
It's going to be like the helmet rule and then the helmet visor rule. Anyone in the league now, you get to choose.
Do they do that at college level?
Do they do? I know everyone wears a face mask. I'm not sure about neck guards yet in the NCAA. But as new players are introduced into the league, once the CBA takes effect, they all have to wear them, and then eventually everyone will be wearing one. Like there's only two guys left who don't wear a face shield in the league.
Okay.
Jamie Benn and someone else. They phased it out, and now they're going to do the same thing, introducing neck guards. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Looks like
why
a giant
subject
turtleneck.
Everyone to danger that doesn't need to exist.
100%.
It looks like a big padded turtleneck.
Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of them now, and
They shortened contract term limits. It used to be you can re-sign with your team for 8, sign on the open market for 7. Now it's 7 with your team, 6 as a free agent. And the LTIR loophole is closed.
What's that?
The long-term injured reserve loophole. A lot of teams, Vegas, Florida, Tampa, have taken advantage of it over the years. There's no salary cap in the playoffs.
Yes.
So at the trade deadline, you have guys who are maybe a little banged up. Oh, you know what? They don't need to do dress for the rest of the season. We'll just put them on LTIR. Suddenly that cap space opens up. You can acquire a player at the deadline. And then in the playoffs, everyone's active, and you have a $90 million team with a $72 million cap.
Yeah, that seems wise.
Now you only get a certain amount back if someone's on LTIR. And your lineup, your team can be over the cap, but the lineup on the ice has to be cap compliant in the playoffs.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
It felt like a Belichick cheating kind of deal.
Listen, there are players, it's like just kind of happened, and okay, lucky them, but for the most part, it's that guy could have played.
Yeah.
Matt Tkachuk didn't miss a playoff game,
Right.
and I don't know, it does seem like he's injured, but why were you able to afford to go get Seth Jones? Like, that is an expensive player that you just fit in under your cap because, well, there's no salary cap in a couple of weeks.
I love that. I love that closing that loophole.
Yeah, so that's kind of the highlights of the NHL CBA. I'm just excited.
Wait, there's a dress code. Isn't there a dress code thing?
Yeah, I think, or did they remove the dress code?
They removed the dress code, wasn't it? They had to be in suits?
Yeah, that's fine. I guess that's the thing the players get. The players get, the cap is going up, keep your mouth shut, everything's going well, and you don't have to wear suits if you don't want to anymore. But the players all seem to be like adopting a love for fashion that never existed before. Like they do the PK Subban and Mark Messier talk about what everyone's wearing when they're coming into games and stuff. Kind of,
you got to get that content for the gram and stuff.
Got to have something, All the players' wives dress them now, so it's not like anyone's showing up in a t-shirt and flops.
And what do you think about Bettman? Has been there since I was a senior in college.
It was the early 90s.
Yeah, I did a senior marketing seminar on him and hockey in the 90s. He is still there.
He is.
Is he? He doesn't, I don't know what he does. He doesn't seem good. He just seems there.
He was brought in to introduce a salary cap. That was the thing. He was the assistant in the NBA. They got a salary cap, and the NHL owners were like, we need this. He didn't get it in 94, 95. Then they shut down a whole season in 04, 05 in order to introduce one. They do. Revenues are up. As much as I think he's done a lot of stuff that is bad, including all the work stoppages, and it's hard to argue with the game being where it is. He hurt the game very badly. Like when they came out of that first lockout, man, They went from ESPN to the Outdoor Life Network.
Oh, I forgot all about
OLN
that.
before it became Versus. Like it was bad.
Versus, yes.
It was bad, but it's in a pretty healthy place now where like the expansion fees are starting at like $2 billion, and they're gonna get it from from some owners. You know, Tampa just sold for like $2 billion, I think. The league is in a healthy spot, and I didn't think that would happen, 10, 12 years ago coming out of the 2012-13 lockout.
Right.
Like, really? We just lost another half season? But since then, I think it has been on an upward trajectory. I'll always boo Bettman, though, because screw him.
Yeah, well, you got to boo every commissioner.
Yeah,
it just seems like the way it goes.
He does seem to really favor these his small market pet projects.
Oh, yeah, he does.
All these Sunbelt teams just seem to keep winning.
And
they did nothing about the tax situation,
right?
Because it affects all his teams: the Dallas Stars, Vegas, the teams in Florida. Oh, fancy that! But they took away like bonus structure, the things big market teams like, oh, we'll give you all your money up front. You're not allowed to do that anymore.
Well, I think as the business person he is, when you have like the Florida teams winning, Houston's an easier expansion,
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, see, like, look what they've built.
I will say, like, when they expanded to like Columbus, Nashville, Atlanta, those teams had no chance, and it's not a shock that like Atlanta isn't in Atlanta anymore because the protection lists, the expansion draft, like it was a joke. Those teams were gonna be terrible for years. If you're gonna try to introduce a new fan base and make them care, you probably want a good team right away. And it's happened. It's been pretty good. Like Seattle was better than expected to start. Vegas goes to the Cup final their first year. Like it's been going pretty well. So I will give him credit for that, but still, I don't know. You took away basically 2 seasons in my lifetime.
I was curious. There was no mention in the CBA of personalized goal songs being mandatory or allowed. I'm a music guy. I've noticed some of these clubs do this.
Some of the teams do it.
I'm not a fan of the personal goal songs. I kind of like one goal song that we all get behind.
I think it's cool that some teams do it. I do not want the Flyers to do it. Like I want one team thing. Like it's a team sport. And I also just think like there's a lot of scoring changes now. Like when at intermission, when it's like, oh yeah, actually that puck,
that's a great point.
Actually, that puck hit Tyson Forster. It's not Owen Tippett's goal. It's like,
then
well, do we now play his song like in the middle of intermission? Does he come out and like wave? Like
that'd be amazing.
That would actually be really funny.
If they did do that, I would be all in the personal.
That would actually be really funny. Yes. He goes down the line first, like his song's playing.
Yes,
that would be
totally
really good.
On board with that.
Yeah, that would be fun. But yeah, so that's the CBA stuff. Kelly and I are going to talk about that a little more on PHLY Flyers Day at noon. So tune in for it. I want to get to the Sealski column. He wrote it like a week ago.
Yeah,
I just got to it. Last night I saw it. He wrote a parody letter for as if he was Sam Hinkie.
Yes.
Praising the Flyers for embracing the process.
Yes.
I wanted to have Sealski on today. I think you said he's in like Tokyo or something?
He was in Tokyo. I don't know if he's back.
He's back, yeah. He had an eye doctor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever it is. I'll talk to Sealski at some point. I like Mike a lot. He's really
great writer.
He's an excellent writer, and this letter is really funny.
Oh yeah.
I will say though that he is missing some key points here.
All right.
Like first of all, they weren't tanking. They kept a lot of their really good players. Like they kept and extended Travis Konecny.
If you haven't read the article, it's basically him as Hinkie talking to Flyer fans, being like, "You guys hated the Sixers tanking." And you guys have been embracing the tank. You just didn't know it for like the last 4 years or 5 years.
To that, I'll also say, like, there was a portion, much like the Sixers fan base, during the process. I was on the air. I was working with Big Daddy Graham every night. It was a debate. Like Mike Angelina and I, younger fans, were like, no, this is the only way for them to get better. And the older people, Big Daddy Graham, Jody McDonald, hated it. You don't try to lose on purpose.
Yes.
It was split with them as well. I think Flyers fans, this whole thing, the idea of it is split. And so it's like the Sixers coming back and be like, well, see? It's like, well, a lot of us thought this was the right idea to begin with.
But I think the point, like, they may have thought it was right for the Flyers, but when the Sixers were going through it, I think I think the loud Flyer fans were like, wow, Flyers would never do this. We always trying to win.
I mean, they wouldn't. That's the thing, is like Ed Snyder would never allow such a thing. Like, whether or not you agreed, it was like the Flyers would never allow this. Comcast and Ed Snyder would say, no, we're not doing that. What do I have to spend to not suck? I'll do that instead.
Yeah.
Like, so I like.
What do I have to spend to not suck, but be mediocre?
Yes, exactly. What to go 6 games in the first round? What's it going to cost? Yeah, exactly. Spend to the cap? We'll do. Like, oh, okay, cool. We won 2. One of them was at home. Great. Like that's basically what they did for a decade. That was their model for a while. But like there are a couple of key differences. Yeah. The Flyers kept and extended Travis Konechny. That is the equivalent of Jrue Holiday or one of the players that Sam Hinkie would have traded for assets.
He would have unloaded for assets.
Like absolutely, if it was Hinkie, he gets traded. They also kept Travis Sanheim. Now, they tried to trade him. Then his no trade clause kicked in. But you can just tell him, like, dog, we're rebuilding. Let us trade you so you don't waste your prime. Where do you want to go? We'll try to figure something out for you. And they didn't do that. They were just like, all right, you're here. You're here forever.
He's not a guy who was like, I don't care. Yeah. I like this area. I don't want to leave.
They could have bought out Sean Couturier. They didn't. They kept him here despite a back injury where he missed the first year of Tortorella. They still were like, yeah, we're keeping this guy. So like good but older-ish veterans were kept around, not exiled.
Right.
They also didn't hire a first-time head coach who had no idea what he was doing. They kept John Tortorella for 2 more seasons once this front office took over. And then they brought in Rick Tocchet, another guy who's been around for like 10 years in the NHL.
Well, now the tank
is a franchise
tank's
legend.
over now, right? The tank ended with Michkov, right?
It is. I think that.
So, I mean, they didn't have a first-time coach, but you can argue they brought in an old coach who wasn't going to win anything.
But that first season, like 2 seasons ago, this team was really good until they lost Carter Hart. Like, and that gets to the other point is going with these young goaltenders that they went with for, yes, this past season, it was, all right, we will see if these guys are any good. And if they're not, well, we'll draft higher. I do think that was kind of the thinking. But you're finding out about young players in your system. It's not like it's not like Sam Ersson is some guy off the street. Like everyone on the Sixers, until they started drafting Jaleel, and Nerlens Noel, like all these dudes were never going to be here. It was just the worst team you could ever possibly assemble. The Flyers were using, on purpose. The Flyers were using their own guys already in the system to try to figure out if they're any good. Also, the goaltending wasn't bad until Carter Hart had to take his leave of absence from the team to go face the charges he's facing.
Yes.
Like, that wasn't a purposeful choice. It's something that happened to them halfway through a season.
Solid point.
Yeah. Like, the goaltending was actually really good leading up to that. And then it fell off the face of the earth because Sam Ersson is a backup and Ivan Fedotov is not an NHL goalie, which we found out. Hey, he was a draft pick. Let's see. He's got a cool story and he stinks. Okay, problem solved. Like, I just think there are some key differences. The letter is funny, and it is a lot of fans, and Sealski points this out, like, the biggest problem fans have had with this little rebuild they've done is, like, you didn't fire Tortorella soon enough. He was making them win too much. You know, actually, you didn't embrace the tank enough. And fair, that opinion did exist. But I still run into plenty of fans who were like, let's try to win, man.
Yeah, I don't think tanking is a stretch for what they were doing. Like you're saying, it's just like, we're not going to spend money. We know we're not good enough to spend money and actively try to be a contender, but let's just play out what's going on and get to the other side of these contracts and stuff.
That's when you realize you have no farm system. Like I said about the Phillies earlier, they're able, depending on what sort of luxury tax you want to pay, you can field a team of free agents. They do. The Flyers, under a hard cap, there's no going over the cap in the NHL. Like, that doesn't exist. There's some loopholes and stuff, but, like, you're capped at the cap number, and that's all you can spend. So you can't buy a team of free agents and make yourself a contender. You have to draft and develop. You have to make savvy trades, do things like that, get hometown discounts on contracts. It's a little different. Like, once the Flyers figured that out, it was, well, we kind of have to rebuild then.
Where
We
was
can't
it?
just
Where
buy
did it go
everything.
wrong with the farm system? Is it a Hextall? Was it before Hextall?
You know, it's hard for me to believe Ron Hextall, when his plan was drafting and developing, missed on like every single pick. When not a single guy, maybe outside of Travis Konechny, lived up to what the expectations were, it's got to be a little development too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, we found the diamond in the rough in Oscar Lindblom, and then, all right, well, the guy's got cancer. That's just bad luck, you know? But for the most part, yeah, you missed on a bunch of draft picks, and I think there was just the development problem along the way because, yeah, drafting's a crapshoot. No one goes like 1 for 30 though. Like you had to find somebody, somebody else had to reach their ceiling, and no one outside of TK did. And he was like, what, the 3rd first-round pick that Hextall made. So I think it's all that, and
so we all go through the Eagles drafts, especially like 6 years ago and earlier. We say, oh, how we took this, but look who was right after. If you look back at those Hextall drafts, was there studs taken that he missed on?
Yeah, there were a couple of bad drafts where it's just like, this was a terrible pick, and then you look and go, that.
Like 2 picks
yeah,
later.
Okay, he's in the NHL, but it wouldn't have made a difference. He wouldn't be on the team anymore.
But not
there's
like
a few though.
2 picks later, you're like, oh, he missed an all-star.
He and Fletcher both had some really, really rough ones. I mean, 2017, the biggest problem where you go with Nolan Patrick, and he was the consensus guy.
Right.
But you don't get paid to do the consensus thing. Anyone could do that. You can just simulate it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Be right, and he was very wrong. You just look at the 2017 draft, what the Stars and Flyers did, and they're like within a couple of picks each other the first 2 rounds. Stars got a bunch of their core, and the Flyers have no one who's left.
Right.
You just kind of missed. So that happened. Cam York over Cole Caulfield. That was Chuck Fletcher. The 2018 draft with Farabee and Jay O'Brien, who stinks, never even made it to the AHL. There were a lot of misses just between Hextall and Fletcher, and probably some development issues with other guys along the way. It was a disaster. The farm system has been a disaster for a decade, and that's why they are where they are.
Fletcher just seemed like he sucked.
I
hated hearing him talk. I hated looking at him.
He just had no idea. You look at his resume, and he was just mediocre. He was just mediocre in Minnesota. Why does he have this job? And then you look at a little further down in his resume. Oh, he was Bobby Clark's assistant in Florida. So they're pals. How about that?
That was a big thing, man.
He had no idea what he was doing. Just a bum. Just a guy.
Oh, snap. You went bum.
He was just a personality-less bum.
All right.
Oh, I went to an Ivy League school. Congratulations.
Chuck Fletcher, the bum.
It was absolutely infuriating. I hated it so much.
Oh, man. It feels like good times, though, right now.
It does. I can finally feel the light at the end of the tunnel, and I believe that there is a plan. For a while, I was like, you need to show me what this plan is, Danny, because I've bought in too many times now.
Yeah.
But I'm actually starting to see it. I love the draft they just had. Make some really good value deals, like bringing in Trevor Zegras for low-end assets. That's a great risk to take. I'm finally starting to see a little light at the end of the tunnel.
And that's a better risk to take than the Kepler. Right?
Yes, exactly.
You can see the skill that this guy's got.
You see Kepler, and it's like his ceiling is what? Average player?
Yeah.
We're hoping this guy is just a replacement level player.
Yeah, we're hoping
he doesn't
does what he did 3 years ago.
You're hoping he doesn't actively make your team worse.
Zegras got mad skills. Even me. I mean, and I'll be honest. I used to be. The Flyers were like the center of my universe. The Lindros years and stuff. They were can't miss TV, and I just got soured on the whole Clark-y, Holmgren, the whole thing.
It just never seemed to go anywhere.
No.
They just spun their wheels for so long.
So I'm really excited, going on to the season and the next couple.
I can't wait for hockey to be not just a thing that hardcore hockey fans follow. I'm looking forward to it being not a niche sport in this city anymore, because it was so much a part of the everyday conversation when they were making regular playoff runs. And it just went away so
And playoff
quick.
runs where you believe they had a
where
legit
they had a
chance. Yes.
Like an actual run where if you lost early, it was a major disappointment. And you're like, fire the coach, trade the captain.
1,000%.
That sort of, even when they disappoint you, it was like, I am disappointed because I had expectations.
Yeah, that's the important.
Oh, yeah, they lost in 6. They didn't even really belong.
Right.
They got hot for a month and made the playoffs.
I'm so ready for expectations to be higher.
So, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to talking about it a little bit later today, coming up at noon on PHLY Flyers. It'll be me and Kelly Hinkle. So tune in for that. But that is all the time we have for you on the Anthony Gargano Show. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, follow us right here on YouTube. Follow all of our Twitter and Blue Sky accounts. And follow all of our podcasts, because sometimes you just need a little audio in your life. That's it. I am Bill Matz. That is VG. Be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.